Here's the test on the recording. Test on the recording.
Test on the recording?
I don't know.
No.
It sounded official, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
I believed you.
Hi guys, and welcome to Hot Dice podcast / YouTube video. What we're doing today is we're reviewing the new Tyranid codex. So we've both got a copy. Mine's just a spare, borrowed from a friend.
Yeah. And mine's mine.
So yeah, Adam rushed out of the house, went to the shops today to buy one. And he came over with both a new and an old one. So I wasn't sure which one we were reviewing.
No, it to me is just plain lazy from G-Dubs straight off the bat. It's the same artwork. I like the artwork. I've actually got a big print of this on my wall at home in the game room. But yeah, they've put a filter over the background, blurred out the gargoyles and the lictors in the background, and put the Tyranid symbol over the top. It's got a nice gloss finish on it. Which is really nice. Don't know if that will pick up on camera, but yeah, just we've had 3 new units. We've got even more new models, and they've gone with the Hive Tyrant, which again is a bit okay, he's alright in this edition, but we could have the Norn Assimilator, the Norn Emissary, even the Death Leaper. Imagine big, nice Death Leaper on the front of that to go with the new rules for him.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So look, this is the 9th edition codex. Just try and hold that up for you. No, that's the opposite way. I'm getting them confused. Can you tell which is the 10th edition and which is the 9th edition? There is a slight difference. There is no prize for getting it right. So anyway, you may have guessed from the title of the video that this is a review of the codex. And we're hopefully going to look at seeing some of the synergies in there, helping you out. I'm not a Tyranid player, but I'm a reasonably experienced tournament player. I played Eldar until they were too good, and I felt like I'd lose friends if I used them. So I switched to Space Marines recently. I'm having some reasonable success with them. And Adam's our long-term Tyranid player, so use the heart here.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm just hungry. Same as my boys. We're just all hungry.
Yeah, it's a shame you're not wearing your new t-shirt today.
No, exactly not.
So what we're going to do is we're going to work through step by step, identify, at the end of the day, the way I approach list building is I'm looking for keywords, I'm looking for abilities first, then I'm looking to see what guns do. But what Adam's done actually is spent a long time going through every single unit in the army and working out the damage profiles on those against different enemies, haven't you? So
yeah, and the points per points efficiency of those units. Spoilers is not very good across the entire codex, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Okay, great. So not many changes when we go into it really, but let's start off. So looking at the army rules, we've got synapse there, so that affects the whole army. Still 6 inches?
Yeah, still 6 inches, the same as it was in last edition. Rules have changed slightly, of course. Same as the index, this is the same rule, but 6 inches, and instead of ignoring leadership, which was the rule in 9th, then they're actually 3d6 rather than 2d6, which is a huge advantage, especially when you're looking at most profiles on the Tyranid list to be at least 7 or 8, which I think it's a 44-ish% chance of getting an 8 or more.
Well, that would have been something good to look up in advance of the video, wouldn't it, Adam?
It would have really been good. I really want to know if I'm right now.
Yeah, so, that's right. 74.1% chance.
That's much better than my prediction then. Okay. So yeah, 3d6 instead of 2d6, which is a 74-ish% chance of passing.
So it's not a guarantee, actually.
No, it's not a full guarantee, but that is 3 out of 4 times you're going to pass your synapse, which when you're doing it across, well, a single unit, yeah, fine, you're most likely going to pass it. When you're doing it across your whole army, if for some reason you're fighting nits, then most of your army is going to pass those synapse, which makes a huge difference.
I don't like those odds, actually, because I'm thinking, with as probably many of you are aware, we've had to change to the balance slate, which is some very interesting changes. First and foremost, Battle Shock, which can now only be done once per game. I mean, if it's a game-winning move, can you rely on the 74%? You think?
No, but it's not. So what's the Space Marines leadership?
6 to 7, depending on characters and stuff like that.
Yeah. So on 2d6, that's a very, very slim chance of passing. It's much better than pretty much anyone else.
Yeah.
Army.
Granted. Okay. And then, of course, what goes well into that is the Shadow and the Warp, which is once per battle.
Yeah.
But it occurs in either player's command phase, which is really, that's fantastic. Yeah. So you could use that offensively or defensively. Deny or not.
Yeah. You could deny a whole round of scoring, potentially, with that. When I first looked at Battle Shock, I wasn't too impressed with it, but there's those key places where it becomes really, really important. In fact, in our last game, the fact I forgot to do Shadow in the Warp actually probably cost me the game. Yeah. So it's
big one.
Yeah, remembering that, and a lot of the new units and new abilities and new detachments, as we'll see later, actually bounce off a unit being battle shocked.
Yeah. So hopefully Games Workshop's fix battle shock, because immediately when I read this rule, I want to make a battle shock army. I want to put as much stuff into that list. Maybe it'd be competitive, maybe not. I think when you look at secondaries, around 38% of the total points available in your secondaries deck is actually related to capturing objectives at the end of your turn, which means you can pile into an enemy unit. If you can battle shock them in the shooting phase or the fighting phase, you're immediately claiming that objective off them. So, there's a good opportunity for point scoring. For me, the Shadow in the Warp, that's more kind of like a denial thing.
Yeah.
It could be used for in your own turn as well.
Yeah.
I like that.
But again, with the Battle Shock, you'll find a lot of the abilities that give Battle Shock happen on your turn and end at the start of the next turn. The fact you can do this in your opponent's command phase is what makes this so good.
So let's get down to brass tacks. Where's the big changes? It's in the detachment rules.
Detachment rules, massively. We've got 5 detachments now, rather than the singular detachment, which was the invasion fleet. Invasion fleet hasn't changed at all, but there's some synergies there with the new fleets. I think they're all based around different compositions and different ways you want to play your army. I think overall the most competitive one still, from initial look, is going to be Invasion Fleet. I think Vanguard detachment
Seems fun.
It seems really fun, and I think in the right hands that is going to be absolutely horrible to play against. But there's going to be a high skill ceiling to pull that one off successfully.
Yeah, but that's the point of this video. We're actually going to go through it and see if there's any surprises there. Like Adam said, if you look at it, is Invasion Fleet's still top, and that's the same detachment rules as the old one. And I'm hoping that's not true, because I want to see something new and interesting. So let's go through it. We're going to start with the Invasion Fleet. So simplified but not simple, I think, was the message, Adam?
Yeah. That is what they tried to sell us on.
So, how many detachments do we have? 4?
I think we've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
6
detachments.
6.
Okay, great. 6 detachments, 6 stratagems. Okay, that's great for your opponents to try and remember. Never mind you. And then each has 4 enhancements as well. So, right, we're straight back to 9th, it seems, with 36 new stratagems in there.
But the thing is, you're going to be building an army around 1 detachment, so you're not going to be thinking about all 26 stratagems. You're going to build an army, hopefully, around your detachment rule and your stratagems and how you can pile off those.
Well, 36, I think, is the same as the last edition, right? It's okay for you, because you're going to memorise, as a player, I'm going to memorise these 6 and that's it. But your opponent might not be as intimately familiar with that detachment as you are, and in my opinion, nor should they have to be.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit frustrated about that. I'm not going to lie.
I do think the danger with some of these are when you're thinking on the fly, especially when you're doing such detachments as Unending Swarm, you naturally assume you're going to be able to use Endless Swarm, which is the stratagem from the Invasion Fleet, which lets you bring 3 D3 units back into a Endless Swarm, Endless Multitudes unit, and it's just not there.
Okay, yeah, so again, not very simple. But anyway, let's move on. Let's get into the brass tacks. So, Invasion Fleet detachment rule, same as the last time. So we've got Swarming Instincts. So each time a Tyranid model, so it affects the whole army. So go for it.
It affects the whole army. You decide on the first battle round, which is really useful. This is probably the equivalent of 9th edition's adaptive traits, which they gave us, took away, and then gave us back at the end. So at the start of the first battle round, you can choose to have Swarming Instincts, which gives all Tyranid models sustained 1 against anything that's infantry or swarm. Really good if you're fighting a horde army. So if someone brings along guard with lots and lots of infantry, you're doing more hits than you started with, hopefully. Hyper Aggression gives the whole army lethal hits against monsters and vehicles, which again becomes really strong if you're firing, say, 20 guns into a tank. Normally, you're not going to ping any wounds off it. Not with a strength 5 weapon if you've got flesh borers.
Which, I don't think we would recommend, but we can get into that later.
Yeah. They're not going to do anything, but you're probably going to ping, hopefully, a wound off or something with 10 flash borers going into a tank now with a lethal hit.
And then Hive Predators, which was, I don't think anyone really took it. I suppose it's great for hurting your opponent when they've paid all those extra points for characters in their units, which they can't leave behind or replace. But, there's so much precision in this codex now, I think it's even less useful.
I think that Hive Predators is there for solely one reason, and that is because of one of the stratagems that we'll come into later, which lets you choose an extra hyper adaptation.
Okay, and then into the enhancements. So I think it's safe to say that the enhancements really give you, well, they build into your strategy. So they're going to be a key part of how you build your list. You're going to consider them perhaps before even you choose a character. Let's get into it. So Alien Cunning, Adam, could you run us through
that? So Alien Cunning goes on one of your character units, as every enhancement does, has to go on a character unit. You then, after both players have deployed their armies, you can redeploy 3 Tyranid units anywhere as they would normally deploy, or into strategic reserve. This can be really, really fun.
It's huge.
Yeah. Just especially if you've got something the opponent counter deploys to deal with it, and you take it off the board or move it somewhere else and just focus your army into a weak flank.
I mean, when you're talking about having how many units of infiltrators, you've got Van Lions, Reapers, they're infiltrators. You've got Lictors.
Yeah.
Of course, I suppose you've got, in addition to that, scout moves. So it may not sound obvious, but maybe you've already found out who's going first. You can now move those Gene Stealers into an offensive position where they can scout, get that guaranteed move. You're a little bit happier about their survivability.
Yeah.
And I think Gene Stealers have got a big glow up this codex.
Yeah. I think especially with some of the other detachments, they become really just desirable to take. I've already built
so long.
I've already built a detachment which is basically just Gene Stealers and Lictors, because I'm so excited just to get them on the board.
We'll try and get that report for you.
Yeah, what I really want to do with Alien Cunning, though, is plop a Trigon down on the table, which is a deep striking unit, a really, really nasty tank destroyer, basically. Plop it on the unit, let them deploy, put it in strategic reserve to deep strike later. When they think that they don't have to fill out their backline because you've got nothing there that is deep striking, so they're okay, I can push everything forward, and then you've got a Trigon on their home base, eating their biovore that they've left there.
Yeah, I mean, putting them into strategic reserve, what can I say? 3 units, that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, as we know, Lord Solar has it already. He does chips.
He does.
But I'm impressed. Okay, so perfectly adapted. What's this?
Perfectly adapted. I think this is possibly the elephant in the room with these enhancements. So this allows a Tyranid model, just the Tyranid model, not the unit it's leading. So this would be the character you put it on. It allows them once per turn to re-roll a hit roll, a wound roll, a damage roll, an advanced roll, a charge roll, or a save and throw for a turn. So one re-roll on one of its rolls, which is a bit meh. For 15 points, it used to be 10, it's gone up to 15. I think it's a bit lackluster. If I've got a spare 15 points, I can't get a Ripper Swarm, so yeah, I'll throw that on something just to use those points.
I'm thinking about it now. So looking at the loadout, so what we did, and we'll probably cover it a bit later, is we went through every unit, as I said, and looked at the damage profile, and it's really painfully obvious that this codex is going to struggle with heavy models, knights, Lehman Russes, anything, Land Raiders.
Yeah.
Just can't seem to put any damage on those things.
No.
So I'm wondering if that enhancement on something that is a bit better at killing those tanks is just worth having, so you can re-roll that damage roll if that damage roll doesn't come through.
That would be great if we could put this on things that weren't characters.
Right, is that the issue here? So
that's the issue. Old One Eye can't take an enhancement.
No, he's Epic Hero.
Old One Eye is possibly the only thing in this codex which can deal with a knight.
Yeah.
A real knight. Everything else is a bit meh. Venom cannons, I feel, have taken a bit of a hit. They've gone down.
What we're looking at here, does it change depending on the model still?
Not really. So your Hive Tyrant with a Venom cannon.
It's only strength 9.
It's only strength 9.
It's not got a D6 damage profile. No. Winged Hive Tyrant, no D6 profile there. Let's work our way through the character models here.
Yeah.
Norn Emissaries.
Unfortunately, not characters.
Not characters, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, even old Swarmy, which you would kind of probably want to take this on, he's just not up to it.
Yeah, Broodlord is character, but he's got a fixed damage profile. He's already got Twin Linked on his talons, so useless there. Not helping with Dev Wounds. Swarmlord, same again, only a fixed damage profile. Twin Linked again, useless there.
Yeah.
How do we have here? We have the Parasite.
Parasite and Mortrax, which is just for infantry and making rippers, really. And that is all your HQs.
That's everything. So, yeah, did I miss a character?
No, you've got Death Leaper, but you can't actually take Death Leaper. Well, you can take him as character.
Yeah.
You can't make him your Warlord, but yeah, you can probably put an enhancement.
No, he's an Epic Hero.
Yeah.
So you can't take the enhancement.
No, you can't.
So that's one more character. I can't see anything else. No. I missed the Prime, but I don't know if the Prime's going to swing it for me.
The Prime struggles to kill a normal Space Marine, if I'm honest.
Is that still the case?
That is still the case. He's strength 6.
Oh, that's a shame.
AP minus 1/2 damage. He probably kills a Space Marine when he goes into them. But yeah,
Okay.
I've got no time for him.
Never mind. Okay, Games Workshop, you can sack the guy who put perfectly adaptable in there. Right, Synaptic Linchpin.
Synaptic Linchpin. This is another bit meh.
Yeah.
But this basically, instead of 6 inches for your synapse range, which again is the thing that gives you 3d6 instead of 2d6, there are other abilities that bounce off synapse as well, but it increases that range to 9 inches from 6 inches, an extra 3 inches. Which I'm told makes all the difference.
Yeah. I'm wondering are there any offensive abilities that come off with Synapse? So, say giving negative modifiers.
I think there's buffs,
but no negatives.
But I don't think there's any negatives. The negatives, especially when you get to the Synapse fleet, actually says within 6 inches. It says a unit within Synapse range, but then they have to, if it's an offensive one, the enemy unit has to be within 6 inches.
Okay, so. No, right. And then we have Adaptive Biology, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, I think this is a must take every single time, especially in my favourite list for invasion fleets. I stick a mama bear, a Turvagon in my army, give her a 5 up, feel no pain. She's lost her invuln, and then the turn she starts after she's pinged off a wound, it's a 4 up, feel no pain.
Yeah.
It's absolutely.
And you're paying 25 points for that, but I think, to be honest, to increase the survivability by so much is just a bargain.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're spending so many points on the Turvagon to start with, and she's got so much usability when you're running hordes of Termagants, which I quite like to run.
The Turvagon, I just call it Mama Bear always. It's sitting at 190 points now. So
it's gone down 10 points.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So
there's your So going on to stratagems really quickly. So rapid regeneration. So that's in the opponent's shooting phase. It's a battle tactic, so you can use that if you've got 0 CP.
That does proc off both the Flyrant and the Walkrant's ability to use a stratagem for free.
Okay, so good start. So shooting phase just after the enemy has selected its target, so before it's made a shot, which, annoying, but there you go. 1 Tyranid unit from your army, so that affects the whole army. That was the target. Till the end of the phase, gets a 6+ feel no pain.
Yeah.
If it's within synaptic range, there's your 5+.
Yeah,
okay, so there we're seeing the synaptic linchpin perhaps helping a little bit where you've got those forward movers.
Yeah.
So if you've got monster in particular.
Yeah. If you've got something there that's synaptic that you can put onto one of this ability onto, then that's going to help, especially again if you're running hard. This would be a great alternative to the adaptive biology if for some reason you were running 2 mama bears. Have one with that, one on the other, probably opposite sides of the board, so someone's got to make a decision which one they're going to shoot.
You've got that backup, but what can I say? You can spend the 1 CP, but as long as you've got that Hive Tyrant on the table, you're getting a 0 CP retry.
So
okay, so that's good. Drenal Surge. Okay, this is good because this is 2 CP one, and that's battle tactics, so you're getting more bang for your buck on the 0 CP return.
This is a bit more situational. This one allows you to select 2 Tyranid units within synapse range, if those 2 units are within a synapse. Otherwise, you can select 1, and this makes you critical hit on a 5 instead of a 6, but only in melee. So it's it only happens in the fight phase, so it's a bit situational. You've got to have melee units which have something that procs on them, which of course with this invasion fleet you're going to have because you've got those hyper adaptations, either lethal hits or sustained hits. If
it's critical to the army, right? Because you can't hurt monsters and vehicles with this the new Tyranid Codex. I'm sorry to say, you just don't have the damage or the AP. So you're relying on critical hits, lethal hits, really, just to get volume of saves going through.
But just think, running a Horospex straight into melee, 2 CP, which is quite a cost, but you're now critting on 5s when you've got 18 attacks altogether. With sustained hits, you're going to probably take out an infantry unit.
Okay.
Or, maybe you're going to ping some more wounds off a tank.
Okay. Part of me is looking through this now and I'm thinking, do we need to look at the units first and then come back and consider these? Because we're getting such...
synergy.
So many unknowns.
Yes.
When the unknowns to me, especially because I don't know the codex that well. But we'll try and flick through it and then consider it a little bit later. So the Death Frenzy, fight phase, just after the enemy unit is selected again. So this is a preemptive one. 1 Tyranid unit in your army was the selected. What's the effect?
If that unit is destroyed, for every unit that's destroyed, you then roll a d6 for each model destroyed, not unit.
Yeah.
And on a 4+, they get to fight on death.
Okay.
Which, again, if you've ran 20 Hormagaunts into a fight, or they've been charged, that means that they get to do their 3 attacks at the end of it, 50% of the time. It's a nice one. I have used it to great effect on, again, the Horospex, just to keep him alive, to take out the thing that had charged him. And I think for 1 CP, it's worth that risk.
So I'm wondering if Death Frenzy synergizes off Adrenal Surge here. So looking at the wording, until the end of the phase, each time a model in any of those selected units makes an attack.
Yeah.
Okay, so that I think that triggers. It's not when it's selected to attack, it's when it makes an attack.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you've got that blob of Hormagaunts or whatever it might be, this Fight on Death means you're going to get more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
God, that's a 3 CP sink there.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
That is really expensive. There's a lot of bang for your buck there, but 3 CP is a lot to invest into it.
But you can pop it, the 2 CP, it's up to 2 Tyranid units, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So again, and it's within synaptic range again. We spoke about that before. So I think a Hive Tyrant, moving up the table with 2 big blobs of something, wherever it might be.
Maybe even Gene Stealers.
Yeah, but the problem is that if they're assuming they're vanguarding, they're going to be outside of your free CP Hive Tyrant bubble.
But then do you put that selective linchpins give you that 9-inch synapse range, so they are in synapse range though?
Yeah. Well, I can see what you're saying, but I think 3 relying on that combo, that's too much. I'm only popping Adrenal Surge if I'm getting it for free, basically, or I just don't know what to do. So we'll carry on because maybe there are ways of getting CP that I haven't seen yet, which I want to consider. So, is there anything to your memory that will give you that? Is it just free CP?
Yeah, there is, especially with the new units. Your Swarm Lord gives you a free CP at the start of your phase. He does other things, but we'll concentrate on that. And also, if any lictors kill a character, that's a Death Leaper, a Neurolictor, or a normal Lictor, they give you a CP each time they kill a character. And they're quite good at killing characters.
Yeah. Well, okay, well, you can only gain a maximum of an additional one a turn. Yeah. A turn. So there's potential to get 2 per round, which is quite handy because you can kill them in their phase, obviously. Okay, I think that's... Yeah, okay, I'm actually liking it. So I can see suddenly Synaptic Linchpin starting to make a little bit more sense to me.
Yeah.
Overrun then. So in the fight phase again, it's a strategic ploy, so you can't use...
No, you can't use this for free, but this is one of my favourite ones.
Walk us through it.
After a combat has ended, just before you consolidate, you can spend a CP, and instead of that 3-inch consolidation, which of course you need to end up in combat with another unit or on an objective, you can spend a CP and you get to move 6 inches.
Right.
Anyway, just a normal 6-inch move. So, yeah, I think that's fantastic. I've just killed you. The objective's over there.
Yeah.
Boom, I'm on the objective. Or, I've finished that combat. I can now be shot on your turn. Oh, wait, no. 6 inches away, I'm behind cover. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it. It's pretty handy, and again, it's that synaptic range. So the invasion fleet's really triggering off that.
Yeah.
And it's all units as well, which is nice. It's very nice. Predatory Imperative, strategic ploy. So in your command phase, up to 2 Tyranid units from your army that are within synaptic range again of one other Tyranid unit from your army. Oh, sorry. 2 Tyranid units from your army that are within synaptic range of your army.
Yeah.
Or one other Tyranid unit from your army.
So you can select 2 units if they're both in synapse range or something, or if they're not, it's just 1.
There you go. Sorry. Yeah, the heat's getting to me today. Select 1 hyper adaptation. So here we go. That's why this is the one.
This is where Hive Predators, which we spoke about earlier, comes into play really, because now you can go, okay, I'm dropping this unit into this, I want to take out their leader, because that's what makes it a thing. You've got Lords, Solar, whatever his name was, on his big horse, in a blob of units, you just charge them. It's like, you're shooting at them, and you're like, okay, I want to take him out. He's got so much utility for the guard player's army, let's get rid of him. So you pop Predatory Imperative. You've already got Swarming Instinct because they've got a Horde Guard army. You pop High Predator, so you've now got Precision. So not only are your 6s then sustained hit, so an extra hit, but they're also now precision, so going straight at solo as well.
Yeah, it's good. What can I say? 1 CP. You're probably only ever going to need to put it on that one unit that needs to do something. It's nice to do it on 2. I think for me personally, I'm almost always going to go with lethal hits on monsters and vehicles because the game's meta is very much towards vehicles.
Yeah.
But in those circumstances where you need the sustained hits, pop the CP.
Yeah.
Away you go. Yeah, I like it.
Well, there's certain armies where that sustained hits is vital. Like if you're fighting Jit and Stealer Coal or Custards.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're all infantry. Who've got a dreadnought. Probably going to ignore that anyway. I can't hurt it on Nids.
Endless Swarm. Command phase again. Strategic ploy, so not a battle tactic. No. Up to 2 endless multitudes. So this is the first one in this deck that doesn't trigger off the whole army.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. Why? Because you can return up to D3 plus 3.
D3 plus 3. This, again, if you're in sign-ups range, is 2 units. If they're not in sign-ups range, it's only 1 unit. But if I've got a big horde of Endless Swarm, they're usually being followed by a Mama Bear anyway, so they're in sign-ups range.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And what's great with that is that actually stacks with the Mama Bear's ability to bring back units.
Good. And it's command phase, so you can pop it before battle shock tests.
Yeah, which comes in great for just sneaking those objectives off people. Because most of the Endless Multitude units are 2 OC, so it's before you score those objectives, you could pop, 4, 5, 6 more models onto that, which is, 8 to 12 OC huge onto an objective.
That's the difference between an armiger and not, basically, which is, that's great. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. Speaks for itself, really. So, what we might do then is go on to the Crushing Stampede, which is the second of the 6.
Yeah.
Anything here? Anything good?
Crusher Stampede, I think all Nid players wanted Crusher Stampede back from 9th edition.
Okay.
It was a terror on the table, but I think it's going to be interesting. I need to get this on the table to see how it works. I think there are some synergies, but I think
it's the Death Corps Krieg strategy I'm reading here straight away. So if you're below starting strength, which now affects monsters, which is great, add 1 to the hit, which it didn't previously, right?
No,
because there's no such thing as starting strength for monsters. So
there is. So if you take a wound off a monster, it is then under starting strength.
Yeah, but that wasn't the same in 9th.
No.
Yeah, so now that's a boost, right?
Yeah,
that you'd never previously had. Add 1 to the hit roll. If the model's unit is below starting strength, add 1 to the wound roll as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
If that's below half. I mean, desperate times then, I suppose, but at least it's nice to have.
It is nice to have. There are some units where it becomes a bit dicey, like with, I was going to say Screamer Killers, Carnifexes. They've got quite a low amount of wounds anyway. But we'll get into that when we get there. What that doesn't really proc off is probably one of the strongest combinations you'd want to take with this, which is Old One Eye leading 2 Carnifexes. Because the problem with that is to get that unit down to half strength to be getting plus wounds.
Yeah.
You need to have killed, because it's 3 units, you kill the first one, you're not under half strength.
No.
You kill the second one,
you're not under half strength.
You're not under half strength because Old One Eye becomes 1 unit on his own, and he's got to be on half wounds.
So, I'm talking to you just before this recording. I think Old One Eye's 1+, is he, in the list, do you think? Or maybe not?
Yeah.
You're not sure yet?
I'm not sure.
It's expensive, is it? How many points is he now?
He's not too bad with the thing. With this list, I want to be taking him
140 points.
Yeah.
For Old One Eye.
Yeah, and he's probably one of the only things that can efficiently wound a big knight. So,
yeah,
he's going to pop vehicles. He's great. You just need to get him into there because everyone is going to target him straight away. They're going to try and get him off the board, which is why you want to take him with those 2 Carnifexes. even if they don't get in, at least they've got old One Eye in.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves, I think, a little bit there. We can get to that later. Because, unfortunately, in some combos, not great. But the +1 to wound, monsters, if they're surviving with 1 wound left, they're not going to get the negatives. So there's that side to think about as well.
Yeah.
And with the loss of the big hit to towering, which I think is going to help everybody, but especially Tyranids, I think, where you haven't got it, it's going to be much easier to hide your monsters now.
It is. And it means that you've got stuff that is 9, so it makes a Venom Cannon suddenly wounded on 4s against big, heavy knights. So,
yeah, it's interesting. I think one to try out, I think.
Yeah.
So the enhancements, we've got Ominous Presence. That's coming in at, where are we? Crusher Stampede. Ominous Presence is 15 points, so it's a cheap one.
It is. And again, that's going to be great across your monster units for holding objectives, especially when you get to the silly rules of the new units. Just get ahead of ourselves again, but it needs to be said. Your Norn Emissary, you can choose an objective and you gain objective control 15.
However,
you can't put it on it. No, you
can't
can't
put it on him. You foiled again, Adam.
I know. These synergies that you think of. My assumption with just chain of command of Tyranid straight off the bat was that the Nord Emissary was going to be a character. So I should have ordered 3 of them. I've only ordered 1 because I assumed it was
joking.
I assumed it was going to be an epic character, epic hero.
No. Oh, you only got 1.
So I only got 1.
No way. Yeah. I would have got 2 just because they look awesome.
They do look awesome. Yeah.
Just because they are.
Well, I've got 1. Well, I have got 2. I've got 1 of each. I was going to build 1 of each.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But yeah.
Hell, to me, I can't tell one Tyranid from another, so you could just say they're both Nordims.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned.
Now, I think they're going to be a job for magnetising. At 70 quid a model.
Holy okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Oh, excuse my French.
Yeah. They are an expensive model, so magnets are an investment for that.
What it does do is basically it takes your standard, so your Turbogon's a character, that's OC5, that's quite nice, but it's not nice enough. Takes it to an 8. Suddenly, you can go toe to toe with an Armiger, which is battle line for knights. So they're not automatically getting that objective.
No,
that's a good a good hit. You don't have to rely on your Gribblies anymore, your Gaunts.
Yeah.
What other characters? We went through them all. Unfortunately, all the good ones are epic heroes.
They are, and most of the actual characters in the codex are like OC3. So your Hive Tyrant is OC3. Your
Swarmlord, Swarmlord's epic hero.
Neuro Tyrant, Winged Tyranid Prime is OC1, but he can go in the bin.
Okay, so Hive Tyrant is probably the one you're going to go for, right?
Yeah.
Winged Hive Tyrant, preferably, because that's going to have a better ability to get onto objectives. But maybe you want to give it something else in this line out. So let's see what else is out here. Enraged Reserves, which is a Tyranid monster. Again, there's a theme here. Model only. If the bearer is destroyed by a melee attack, if it has not fought this phase, roll d6 on a 3+. Do not remove it from play. Do not go past go. It can fight again, and the attack model's has finished making its attacks. It is then removed.
Yeah.
This is good for all you people out there who've played Custodians in 10th edition, which get to strike first and kill all your nice combat monsters before they get to attack.
Yeah.
A good counter, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And for how many points?
20.
20 points.
20 points.
It's an investment, but there are units there that you are going to be running in. You would love to put this on Old One Eye, but again, you can't put an enhancement on Old One Eye.
No.
This is probably going on your Swarmlord.
Yeah, without seeing the other enhancements, I mean, with the investment you're putting in here, what's the Swarmlord pack in these days? He's coming in at a tasty 270 points.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say 20 points is less than 10%. It's about 7% of the price of the model. I'd pay 7% extra for the guarantee to get to attack.
Yeah, because he's the thing there that's going to actually do wounds. Twin linked, 8 attacks, strength 9, AP -2, 3 damage.
But it's a dice roll.
It is a dice roll. It's a 3 up though.
3 up.
So you're most likely going to get it, unless you're me.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what else. We'll when we get to list building, maybe next video we'll do list building, I think. But for now, we'll just focus on this. So then we've got the null noodles.
Noodles.
Sorry, the null nodules. The again Tyranid monster.
Yep.
Once per battle, when the psychic attack is allocated to the bearer, it can use this ability. If it does, until the end of the phase, the bearer has a 5+ feel no pain against psychic attacks.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this one, Adam?
This has mixed feelings because I played a lot of games against you.
Yeah.
And I played games against our local Thousand Suns player.
Yeah.
If I'm building a list to fight either of you two, this is going on whatever I've spent the most money on.
It's 10 points. That reflects how crap I think it is. So no more to say about that,
No.
I think. All right.
Yeah, anything else? No.
No.
If I'm building for a tournament, I'm not even thinking about putting that on anything.
Unless you've got 10 points, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
All right, Monstrous Nemesis. Tyranid monsters only. Each time the bearer makes a melee attack, if the target is a monster or vehicle, add 1 to the wound roll. That is epic.
Yeah.
That is an auto include.
That is an auto include.
That is coming in at 25 points.
Mm.
I don't mind so much. It's quite expensive.
No.
But
So
how crap this army is at dealing with armour and monsters.
Yeah. And it's with the meta being monsters and vehicles, putting that on stuff is great. Again, is that going on your Swarm Lord instead?
Well, yeah. Well, looking at the Hive Tyrant, Monstrous Bone Sword and Lash Whip is only 6 attacks, AP 2, that's nice, especially in combat. Damage 3, Twin Linked. Twin Link with +1 to wound on Strength 9 suddenly doesn't matter too much.
No.
We'll see what the strats bring, but...
Yeah, so you wound on 4s.
The only reason I keep going back to the Winged Hive Tyrant is because it's a big model, but towering is nerfed a little bit now, so it doesn't matter too much.
No.
And
you can actually hide it now. I think there are definitely, with these new detachment, places for that to come into play again. I think I need to blow the dust off my 2.
well, I haven't looked at the points efficiency for it yet.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
No.
Okay, well, we're getting ahead of ourselves again. So going straight into the 6 stratagems, we've got Corrosive Viscera. Viscera, thank you. When opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, just after Tyranid monster model from your army with deadly demise ability that cannot fly. Okay, so it's to stop you Winged Hive Tyrant bombing people, right? Boo hiss. That's immediately where my brain went. That Tyranid monster, you can use the stratagem, even though it's destroyed. Basically, do not roll a d6; it auto blows up.
Also exploding, and as I love it. I want it. I need it.
I need it in my life.
Yeah, so far in 10th edition, I've had 2 units explode. So the ability to just go, oh, that's got 1 wound left. Oh, it's in the middle of 6 units, 6 inches. Yeah. CP.
That's sexual.
Let's explode and do 3 wounds to you.
That's pretty sexual. So you got Deadly Demise D3 on your Hive Tyrant, Winged Hive Tyrant. Nothing on the Prime. Oh, it's not important enough. Nothing on the Neuro Tyrant.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got Fly anyway.
It has.
So never mind. So nothing Swarm Lord. Oh, he's an epic hero. So never mind. He can't.
Nope.
No. Well,
no,
it's a stratagem.
Yeah, not an enhancement.
D3 again. Old One Eye doesn't explode.
No, he doesn't. He's restrained and controlled. He's died plenty of times.
I'm saddened by this.
Yeah. He has got a 5-foot field no pain instead. But yeah, a lot of it is
Just
D3.
D3.
But Norn Emissary, if I'm paying those costs, D6, Deadly Demise.
Oh, that's so
and
good.
especially Norn Assimilator. Your Norn Assimilator is going to be right up there in the thick of things, really.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
So that's, sorry, just to clarify, it's the non-emissary's got Deadly Demise D6. So potential to get the 6 on there. Well, does it auto? You still have to dice it.
No, it's not to explode. Oh, you still do the
Determine
D6.
whether mortal. Do not roll. Instead, mortal wounds are automatically inflicted. So, okay, you still have to roll the dice. That's fair enough. It would be amazing.
When I originally saw this rule, what I wanted to put this on was pyrovores. I was just going to drop some pyrovores.
Where are we?
Back lines. Page 89.
Okay. Oh, I missed them.
And basically just plop them in, flame a load of units, and then explode. And then I looked at what I thought it was going to be a D3. It's only 1.
It's only
it's only a
that should be a big firebomb.
It should
be like
yeah.
something out of Starship Troopers. You know, and they just chuck the fucking grenade in there.
Yeah, exactly. It should explode.
Extra green
damage.
D3.
Especially if you just dropped 3 of them in there, and someone's just gone pop, 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 killed all 3. Oh wait, they've just exploded. But yeah, for 1 more wound.
Tervagon is D6, so that's not so bad because you are pushing that up the field.
Yeah.
So if it does go...
Yeah, and if your Tervagons died, you've probably lost your Termagants by that point already, so you're not killing your Termagants either.
And then you can always do your... If you didn't get to attack, do your 3+, I get to attack as well. So there's a synergy there with pushing something up the field, charging it in. But, well, again, I'm not seeing too much on the D6 front. But anyway, interesting, good fun, 1 CP.
Yeah.
Make it happen. And it's not a battle tactic.
It's not, no.
Okay,
it's not.
but the next one is Rampaging Monstrosities.
Yep.
So, when does it happen? Fight phase?
Yeah, happens in the fight phase. You target 1 Tyranid monster from your army that's not been selected to fight for this phase, and until the end of that phase, each time a model unit makes an attack, you can reroll hit roll.
Yeah, it's good. You've got a big, expensive unit.
Yeah.
You're pretty rubbish at wounding big, heavy things. You want to make sure as many attacks get through as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
1 Tyranid monster unit. So, again, I think does old One-Eye Carnifexes come to mind there?
Exactly. It's re-rolling everything on them. The problem is, with old One-Eye, if he is leading a unit of Carnifexes, they already re-roll a hit roll.
Oh, well, so that's useless. Okay, cool. Never mind. So, have we got anything else?
So this, again, I think, is to do with the big units. I think a lot of this is around the Norn Emissary and the Norn Assimilator again.
But they are hitting on 2s, you know.
They are hitting on 2s.
It's a waste of a stratagem.
Yeah.
So's your Hive Tyrant.
Yeah,
so's your Winged Hive Tyrant.
Possibly your Tyrannofex when you're trying to get that Rupture Cannon off, which is... I want to say 2 attacks off the top of my head.
It's fight phase only.
Oh, it is fight phase, yeah. So, yeah. Horspex, possibly, which is hitting on 3s. Yeah, which is your big melee unit.
Carnifex is hit on 4. You said you've already got the rerolls to hit.
Yeah.
But they get +1 to hit on the... if they've taken a wound.
Yeah. Yeah, so it is very limited. Maybe you Trigon or your Morlock. I hate how the units in this are...
Is there anything with lethal hits that we've missed from the list?
No, not really. We really struggle on that side. Lethal hits and anything like that. We've got no anti-vehicle. We've got some sustained hits. Your Trigon is hitting on 3s. 12 attacks hitting on 3s, so... strength 9, -2, 3 damage. So if you've charged that into something...
You need it to get through.
Yeah.
Many a time have those popped up in my back line and then fluffed it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably worth doing, right?
Yeah.
Horror specs, 14 potential attacks at strength 7.
Yeah, and then an extra 4 attacks.
So re-rolling there is nice.
Yeah.
14, strength 14 now.
That's strength 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Sexual.
That is.
Savage Roar. Fight phase again.
Yeah.
You can see how this army's focused.
Yeah.
Monsters and fight phase so far. 1 Tyranid monster unit from your army was selected as the target. So before resolving shooting against them, the enemy unit must take a battle shock test. And until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets your unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. If that battle shock test was failed, also subtract 1 from the wound roll.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you -1 from the hit roll, -1 for the wound roll, and now they can't use any stratagems themselves.
Indeed, and they might not own an objective that they were sitting on.
Yeah.
Which is the main thing, right?
Yeah,
the end of the turn.
for secondaries.
The secondaries.
Yeah.
Which again, like I said, 37% of all the points you can score from secondaries is sitting on something at the end of the turn. So that could be pretty nice for a CP. It's got secondary function, that one. I like that one. I like the stratagems that got that scoring capability as well.
Yeah, that's what you want to be using your CP for, really, is turning those victory points around, because you can kill as many units as you want on a table, but if you're not scoring victory points, you've not won the game.
Why are you there? Right, something that's not in the fight phase, but it's not a battle test. A battle tactic, it is untrammeled.
Untrammeled? Yeah.
Untrammeled ferocity.
I was reading that as untrampled ferocity.
You've got trampling on the mind.
Yeah, I have. I just want to run my big monsters into things.
You can be forgiving, crusher, rampaging monstrosities. Yeah, it's all there.
Yeah, but this is a really interesting one. I quite like this. So this, until the end of the phase, for 1 CP, you can target a Tyranid monster, and basically you can move through enemy models as if they're not there.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah,
that stops screening, right?
Yeah, and you automatically pass a desperate escape. So someone's just wrapped your big gribbly. You need to get them out there and down the table. 1 CP. Sorry, mate.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah,
I'm starting to like this one here. I mean, I like big monsters, so take what you want.
Yeah. I want to get this on the table. I'm a bit with it. It seems fun.
There's a lot of synergies.
Which means
there's a lot to forget.
Yeah, and our monsters are reasonably strong, but not too strong. There are a lot of guns which can do a lot of damage to them. So I'm a bit wary about doing a full force of monsters on the table. Which, if I'm doing this, I'm putting a full force of monsters.
Just to clarify that, I think I'll just speak on it for a bit. I think the meta's gone towards vehicles, and so there's a lot of anti-vehicle weapons out there. Unfortunately, that means there's a lot of anti-monster vehicles out there.
Yeah.
That could hurt this, but at the same time, with the I'll say it again, with the towering roar being nerfed, and with Custodes being nerfed, which was the big gatekeeper for combat armies.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'd like to see it on the table.
We'll get to combat, I think, with the next one. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I want to get this on the table, and I want to get this on the table against some knights.
Okay. So, swarm guided salvos. So, shooting phase, 1 Tyranid monster unit from your army.
Yeah.
That has not been selected to shoot this phase. Effect, until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped with that unit have the ignores cover ability. Always nice. The unit, at the end of the phase, each time the model in that unit makes an attack, you can ignore any and all modifiers to that model's ballistic skill. So this is designed for indirect fire.
Yeah.
So what's got indirect fire?
A Biovore.
Is that it?
Pretty much.
Is it a monster?
No, it's an infantry unit.
So it can't be for that. There must be something you're missing.
There might be, but,
there must be. So let's have a look through, quick one through this.
Yeah. I think what this is designed for is...
Hive Guard have indirect fire now? Or did they always have that?
Hive Guard have got indirect fire, yeah. But my opinion of Hive Guard isn't great. They have got anti-infantry. What this is designed for, I think, is your Tron effects with its heavy weapon. So you can run a heavy weapon up the board, shoot at something in cover, and still be hitting as if you've stood still.
Am I reading that right? Ignores the ballistic skill, modifies the model's ballistic skill.
Yeah. So with the heavy keyword...
any and all... Okay, so maybe it's just... Okay, sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, so the heavy keyword modifies your ballistic skill, doesn't it, by -1?
No. That's the 9th edition. So 10th edition heavy is +1 if you
Plus
have a
one to your
move.
ballistic skill. Yeah. Sorry. No. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think what this is supposed to be doing. Heavy adds 1 to the hit roll
Yeah. It
if
does.
the unit remains stationary.
It does.
Each model in your army unit makes an attack. You can ignore any and all modifiers to the model's ballistic skill and all hit rolls.
Yeah. So yeah, indirect fire. If we had indirect fire, that would affect that.
But there's distinctly nothing in here from a monster.
No.
I'm surprised by that.
What you are doing is you're ignoring someone's venom throats.
Yeah, there's a lot of negative modifiers.
Yeah.
Like stealth, it's getting around stealth.
And ignoring cover, which we all know in 10th edition, cover is just being given away free for 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
so this builds on the Crusher Stampede. I like these stratagems here a little bit. I was a little bit critical of that Swarm Guided Salvers, but let me just explain why I've changed my mind there. If you're putting monsters on the table, you've got very few models. You've got maybe 6 to 10 models on the table. It's a big monster mash. You need them to perform when they get exposed, when they are chosen to attack something. And these are all designed to just take it over the edge a little bit.
Yeah.
Just give it that little extra punch where you need it.
Yeah. I think this is trying to make sure that those big hits, which are low amount of shots, are doing what they need to do.
And AP, how are we doing for AP on that one?
Really, AP across the board for Nids is quite weak. You've got some big hitters like, again, the Rupture Cannon, which is AP 4. Which really, that is helping there. Taking away the cover, that's staying in AP 4, so that's either not a cover set, not a save, or a 6 up. Which when you're doing 2 shots.
And it's ranged weapons. It's not just so it's the Norn Emissary.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this nice new sexy model in here. It's AP 2 to minus 2 to 3 basically. So ignoring cover, ignoring modifiers to hit, making it a little bit more attractive. You can see it's got Melter on there as well at 18 inches. I'm liking that.
Yeah, the Norn Emissary is absolutely gorgeous. And it should be for the cost you're paying, which is around 300, I believe.
Norn Emissary can't help getting ahead of ourselves here, but we're going to say it's 290.
290. Okay, so it's under 300.
It's cheap as chips,
Yeah,
man.
it is. It is.
That's goddamn ridiculous, sir.
I imagine that's going to be plus 300 come January when they do.
They have just speaking as an Eldar player who hasn't actually played 10th because I know how disgusting they were. They've just nerfed Devastating Wounds.
Yeah.
In some ways, but in terms of its splashing mortals, they've just nerfed Towering.
Yeah.
And then they've increased the price of Wraith Knights to 510.
Yeah.
They will never, they will very rarely see a table now. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I feel like they went too far. They could have kept the points. They should have decreased the points now that the wounds can't splash and that they can't draw line of sight. I'm distracting myself here.
No, but from an unbiased NID player's point of view, I think that is well and truly deserved. They should have been at least 1,000 points each.
I bought my Wraith Knights to clarify in 9th edition when they were rubbish. So screw you guys and your hate. So anyway, massive impact. The last stratagem.
So this, talking about stuff that have been robbed from you from editions, this I was hoping was going to be a return of what everyone else now has, which is Tank Shock.
And is it?
This is Tank Shock from Wish. It's nice to have. at least we've got it, but it's just not as good.
It's just not what you thought it was going to be, right?
No.
So it's in the charge phase, Tyranid monster, shock horror. Your army, when it remodel after it ends a move, so it has to be a monster.
Yeah, it's just charged into a unit.
So one enemy unit it can select. Unfortunately, only one. 66, 4 pluses. It's a grenade.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a tank shock. It's a tank shock.
It is a tank shock, but it's not.
The tank shock's 5 pluses, right? And then based on strength. So
yeah.
I mean, it's not really big. It's not a big deal.
No.
Because you don't have a strength profile. Tanks have an inherent strength profile. With their melee attacks, you probably have like multiple selections.
Yeah.
So they probably decide to go with the grenade instead.
Yeah.
It should get you 3 mortals. It could be useful.
I'm just bitter that we in 9th edition we were the ones that had tank shock.
Yeah.
And then they took it off us and they've given us a little bit of weak sauce back.
Let me have a look here. So tank shock is 1 vehicle, and it can actually do it to other vehicles.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the same. It's okay. So switching up a bit, what was the next part of it?
Unending Swarm's next faction. This is the army that is based around all your Endless Multitude units. So that includes your Hormagaunts, Termagaunts, Neuragaunts, and Gargoyles are basically your Endless Swarm units. So the detachment rule is insurmountable odds. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot, after that unit is finished making its attack, if one or more models from one or more Endless Multitude units from your army were destroyed as a result of those attacks, each such unit can make a surge move. To do so, roll 1d6. That unit can be moved a distance in inches up to the result, but that unit must end that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. When doing so, those models can be moved within engagement range of enemy units. A unit cannot make a battle surge move if it is battle shocked. So basically, this is the Carnifex rule.
Army wide.
Yeah, basically, on all your Endless Swarm. So you shoot a unit of Hormagaunts, you kill one, they're suddenly in your face or on an objective.
So let's look at Endless Swarm units. So that's multitude, sorry. So that's just your gaunts, right?
That's all your Gaunts units. That's Hormagaunts, Termagaunts, Neuragaunts, and Gargoyles.
Right, and if we're looking at leadership models, what can join those units?
This is what I was going to bring up when we got to enhancements. Actually, is the only 2 units that can have anything leading them are Gargoyles and the Neuragaunts.
Yeah, okay, so now I've just found it here because they've changed where they put the leadership section, so it's actually on the unit card now. So it's Gargoyles can be led by a winged Tyranid Prime. So, okay, that's shit. Tyrant Guard, Tyrants. Winged Hive Tyrant can't lead anyone, apparently. Nora Tyrant can lead Neuragaunts. Are those the only 2?
They are the only 2.
What I was trying to think of is, it's great that you could like maybe move on to an objective, or you could Overwatch could be just shut down. Yeah, because you're not going to get an Overwatch in the enemy shooting phase. No. Which is a great way of getting around it, but also it would be nice to have it as a delivery mechanic for a big gribbly monster.
It would, yeah, but it's just not there. The only thing you're going to be delivering is a winged Tyranid Prime. And the only reason I'm taking a Tyranid Prime ever is for this detachment and to give some of the special rules.
Okay, so let's crack on. Interesting, nice mechanic, but you can't take it to the nth degree, which is a shame.
No, exactly.
So where were we? Enhancements.
So, enhancements. Relentless Hunger, being the first one of these. Tyranid model only. Add 2 inches move characteristic of the model to the bearer's unit. So again, if you've got a Tyranid Prime, you've attached them to Gargoyles, that's an extra 2-inch movement. I'm just double checking, so 12-inch movement up to 14-inch movements on Gargoyles. And
Primes can go into Warriors though as well, right?
They can, yeah. Well, this could be on any attached thing, but if you go in Endless Swarm, you're probably going mostly
Gaunts and other thing. So. Yeah, okay, so the Neuro Tyrant's only movement 6.
Yeah.
He can only lead Neurogaunts and Tyrant Guard, so they're not Endless Swarm anyway. They're the latter, I should clarify. Yeah. Prime can go Tyranid Warriors with melee weapons, which I think are strong now. No?
There is some argument. I still think they're overcosted for what they are.
Oh, everything in the codex is a little bit.
Yeah.
But for the damage output. They've got really good damage output, right?
We'll see that when we get there.
Right. Okay. Right.
I'm not convinced.
That's a shame. So, yeah. Okay. 8-inch movement on warriors could be quite nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's about it. Okay. So, anyway.
Yeah.
You don't have to give it. You can give it to a monster. You can give it to Hive Tyrant.
Yeah. You could give it to just a leader, just for an extra 2 inches.
Yeah.
10-inch movement on your Swarm Lord. Lovely.
14 on a winged.
Yeah.
Tyrant.
Yeah, exactly. So it has its uses. It's just not going to really be something that's going to affect an army overall.
Well, you know what? It'd be worth to look at that because 10 inches on that puts you on an objective.
Yeah.
Turn 1. Without advancing.
Yeah.
If it's a combat monster. Well, we'll play around with that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so naturalized camouflage.
Yeah. So Tyranid models only, obviously. At the end of the first battle round, select up to 3 friendly endless multitude units within 9 inches of the bearer. Until the end of the battle round, each time a ranged attack targets one of those units, models in that unit have the benefits of cover.
Right. Okay.
Benefits cover, it's nice, but there's so many ways to get the benefits of cover in 10th edition. You've really, really got to have badly positioned to not be getting benefits of cover anyway.
Yeah, I suppose gargoyles coming down, but it's such a big investment. I don't know. Okay. All right. Not grabbing me so far. Piercing talons.
Yeah, piercing talons. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack on a critical wound, improve the armor penetration of that attack by 1. So what you're looking at here is you're never going to put this on a unit with Neurogaunts.
No.
You are going to be putting this on your gargoyles with flesh borers to give them AP -1 on those flesh borers.
On a critical wound only. So
still not great.
It's kind of
yeah.
Okay, well, it could be good on something that's got rerolls. So, have you got any characters there with Twin Linked? I can think of a couple.
Hive Tyrant. Yeah, Swarm Lord. Yeah.
What's the Swarm Lord's AP? What's he got again?
He is.
So
AP1 on his Psychic Pulse, Synaptic Pulse, and AP2 on his Bone Sabers.
So, taking it to AP3 would be okay.
Yeah.
AP2 for me, in my experience, is good. It's what you need because it gets you Terminates down to their invulns, and it gets everyone else down to their invulns. There's no devastating wounds there, so it doesn't, whatever.
No.
And because it's twin linked, you can just fish for those 6s a little bit, especially with weapon skill 2.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. The problem is, everything I've heard so far doesn't synergize with the swarm.
No, and I think that is the problem with the enhancements on this. They're very, very lackluster.
So what's the last one? Hopefully this is saving
grace. This is Adrenalized Onslaught. Each time the bearer unit piles in or consolidates, models in that unit can move an additional 3 inches. Now this, to me, immediately says Hormagaunts. But you can't lead Hormagaunts. So you can't get this on a unit of Hormagaunts. This would probably be nice on a Broodlord with some Gene Stealers. But if I'm taking Gene Stealers, I'm not taking on Ending Swarm. If I'm honest.
What the hell? Okay, I just don't get it.
No, it's
Mama Bears can't join units.
No, not anymore. It's not like it could have days and nights. Mama Bear not being able to be hit because it's got 30 gaunts around it.
I'm blown away. Well, okay. So far, I'm not feeling this one at all.
No. This is
again. Gives us a fire. This guy. Or girl. Not sexist, you can fire either.
Yeah.
So go into. Let's see if it can be saved with these.
Yeah, with stratagems. So stratagems, there's a couple of nice ones in here. We'll start at the top. Synaptic Goading. So any phase just before an endless multitude unit, and your army is going to make a surge move. So again, that surge move is the detachment rule. If you get shot and one of the models dies, you can roll a d6 and move that distance towards the nearest model. When making that surge move, you can re-roll the d6 to determine how far the unit moves, which is quite nice. especially as someone who rolls a lot of ones,
Yeah.
statistically impossibly amount of ones,
Yeah.
and your unit can end that move as close as possible to an objective marker instead of as close as possible to the nearest
it up
unit.
a little bit. You're paying a CP for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially because you could be shot, you've got your termagants, they've just been shot, and
They can go towards
They
the
go
objective. Suddenly
back
you control it.
onto an objective. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's one positive point. We're -3 at the moment.
Yeah. So unending waves. This is the big 2 CP stratagem. This is where this unending swarm comes. Any phase when one endless multitude unit has been completely destroyed, you can spend 2 CP, and you can bring back a new unit identical to that destroyed into your strategic reserve. So this is that guard rule.
Yeah. It's strategic ploy, so you can't do it for free. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not a battle tactic. Just the same as the guard one. Yeah.
It's the exact same rule. Just to get into this, I think this is possibly got a different utility to what you saw in the invasion fleet, which is bringing back D3 plus 3. This is for throwing units against something, knowing they're going to die, but just getting that damage in. Something like Hormagaunts is probably what I'd be spending this on, rather than Termagaunts.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
But again, no character buffs there. So
No.
okay, teaming masses.
Team of Messes, one endless multitude. There's a theme here. The unit from your army has been selected as the target of one or more of attacks until the end of the phase, or each time an attack targets that unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll.
Okay. How do you
These-
feel about this one?
This is shooting or fight phase. This to me is more of what I'd have liked to see across this entire unit. This is thematic to me.
Detachment.
Yeah, across the detachment. This is just thematic to me. This is all of those Hormagaunts or Termagants running at the board, running over each other, over all the terrain. So they're hard to hit. It's hard to get a lock on a single one.
Right, and I mean, is this just not fulfilling the role of the toxin guys? What are they called?
Yeah, this. Yeah,
What are they called?
Venom Throat.
Venom Throat.
Yeah, if you've got a Venom Throat pin, you're already doing this.
But it's okay. Which is the
yeah.
optimal way to I've seen you using them in the past.
Yeah.
It seems to work
It's
really well.
when we get to building armies, we'll get into how I would build a swarm.
Yeah.
And how I do build a swarm, and I will say that if I'm building a swarm, I'm not using unending swarm. I'm using the invasion fleet. I'm using the index.
Okay, so we're at -5 now.
Yeah.
So swarming masses.
Swarming masses, again, endless multitude, shooting or fight phase. Until the end of that phase, weapons equipped by the model in your unit have sustained 1 ability. If your unit contains 15 or more models, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, it's a 5+ for a critical. So you're getting sustained hits on 5+. This is a CP. It's a battle tactic, so you could use it for free if you've got a high tyrant. But again, this is something you're getting for free
In the other.
in the invasion fleet across the entire army, not just your endless swarm.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's a positive though. It gives you crits. It gives you the 1 or 5+ potentially.
Yeah.
And it's shooting all fight phase.
Yeah, if you're shooting 20 gaunts with Devourers or Spine Fists, that's 40 shots, sustained hits on 5+. That's a lot of shots down range.
It's good, but it's not good enough.
No.
I feel like that should be when any phase.
Yeah.
Because that's only in your phase. There's no way of triggering that in the enemy's turn at all.
Oh yeah, they've just changed Overwatch to be once a turn.
Yeah.
So that I think 1 CP, Overwatch, crit on 5s. Why not?
Well, you can't. There
No.
you go. So, bounding advance, your movement phase.
Bounding advance. As you will know from 9th edition, I played Hormagaunts, a Hormagaunt Swarm, and Bounding Advance was my favourite stratagem to use.
Yep.
Turn 1. This is one endless multitude unit. It does not make an advance roll. It automatically moves 6 inches down the table. So yeah, you are Hormagaunts. You're 16 inches up the table straight away.
What's that? Can they advance and charge Hormagaunts?
Yes.
Is that their inherent ability?
I believe they can.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
So, all right. So that's why they're leaning into it.
Yeah. Yeah. This again goes back to the unending swarm, where you can bring them back. This is why if I'm building this, I'm not building my Termagant swarm. This is my Hormagaunt swarm. This is probably a list I would play in a friendly thematic game.
But not to win.
Not to win, no. This is just to me to be the nids that I want to be in my head. Just lots and lots of blades. I'm trying to eat stuff and increase my biomass.
Yeah, it's a shame because, what can I say? Hormagaunts, if that's where this is leaning, I'm looking at a lot of this, I'm thinking Hormagaunts, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Termagants, me, are ace. Right?
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Oh, absolute beans.
We'll get into that, I think. But there's no characters to go in there to help with the buffing.
No.
And then we've got the last one, which is preserving imperative. Opponent shooting phase, just after an enemy unit's been targeted.
Yeah, this is a strong one, though.
This is a strong one.
This is a very strong one. So what this one does is, in your opponent's shooting phase, when they target a horde, you can select one Endless Multitude unit, and for the purposes of blast, that unit consists of 4 models. So you don't get the benefits of Final Blast into a 20-man unit.
But it's only, may I add, one Endless Multitude unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. So it's only one unit.
Yeah, it's
not for the turn.
It is only against one.
So if Guard is rocking up with...
Yeah.
No, overall... This book could have probably got away with 5 detachments so far, and I wouldn't have missed this one.
No.
Bad Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Bad. So, Assimilation Swarm's the next detachment.
Yeah. Assimilation Swarm. This is an interesting one. This detachment, I think, is going to take a lot of getting into. I think there's potential here for it to be quite strong.
So, talk us through it.
So, Assimilation Swarm, detachment rule is feed the swarm. In your command phase, each harvester unit from your army that is within range of an objective mark you control can regenerate 1 friendly Tyranid unit within 6 inches of it. A unit can only be generated once per phase. Each time a following unit regenerates, do one of the following. 1 model in that unit regains up to D3 lost wounds. Or 1 destroyed infantry model, excluding characters, is returned to that unit with its full wounds remaining. If that unit is an Endless Multitude unit, up to 3 destroyed models are returned instead.
Okay, so can we just go... It's Harvester models.
Harvester models.
So let's look through the Harvester keyword. So
this is units such as the Horospecs, anything with tentacles on its face generally. Ripper Swarms are the interesting one, I think, with this unit because they're harvesters.
Are they?
They are indeed.
So it's any harvester unit in range of an objective gives you the ability to regenerate.
Yep.
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah. So Pyrovores are harvesters. I don't think we've got any harvester heroes. Horospecs. I would have expected the Lictor to be a harvester myself. Psychophage, Ripper Swarms. What this actually brings up something I was talking to one of our friends about earlier, is that it would be very nice in this codex to have a keyword list. So harvesters, this is all the harvester units.
Yeah.
Vanguard, this is all the Vanguard units. Endless Swarm, this is all the Endless Swarm units.
Yeah, that's a great idea because the keywords are so critical to how the army works now.
Yeah.
So I've only come across the Horospecs so far and the Ripper Swarms, the Psychophage, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much towards the end of the list now.
Yeah. So it's limited in what you can do, but Ripper Swarms.
Well, it's good to know that this detachment's leaning into those 3 units, basically.
Yeah. But Ripper Swarms, 20, I always want to say credits, played too much Necromunda. For 20 points in your army, you can deep strike. Have a Ripper Swarm, which you can deep strike.
Yeah.
Just having those that you've got an objective, boom, any movement.
And it's infantry, right? So infantry includes Tyrant Guard, which I don't know if it's crap or what. We'll get to that. Tyranid warriors.
Yeah.
And then of course all the Gribblies.
Yeah.
Lictors. Do they come in units?
No, Lictors don't come in, but you can regenerate D3 wounds on them.
Right.
You've got your Venom Thropes, your Zonothropes, which is this could be very powerful on bringing back a Venom Thrope on a turn is really strong, especially with how much damage output they can do. As I said, I think there's a lot to think about with this, and I think in the right hands, this could be quite fun. But it's getting your head around it, and
because anytime you bring back a unit, as long as the new models are brought back in unit coherency of an existing model, they can't be in coherency of new unit models that come in. That means you can still gain some movement there.
Yeah.
So now let's get into the enhancements and see if they make it any better.
So regenerating monstrosity, tuner model only, excluding monster models.
Right.
Which this is going on
Prime.
Yeah, it's going on a Prime.
They're desperate to make Primes good, aren't they?
Parasite and Mortrex.
Isn't that an epic hero?
Oh, that's a good question. To be honest, he's not actually reached the table. No, he's an infantry and character. He's not reached the table in this edition.
So that's 2. That's 2.
And this unit can be regenerated up to twice per phase instead of once. Now, talking about Parasite of Mortrex, with this faction, I would probably be taking the Parasite of Mortrex, because the Parasite of Mortrex can generate Rippers on kills. It's still enough chance. Anti-infantry free. You've got to kill it with an anti-infantry free. It's 1 attack, hit on 2s, strength 3, AP -2, 3 damage.
Interesting, it's not a harvester itself.
No, which you would kind of expect it to be.
So it needs to have Ripper Swarms near it.
Yeah, and you're generating 3 Ripper Swarms basically if you kill models with the tail attack. So you're on an objective, you pop on, they've run on, you've flown in your Parasite Mortrex, generated a Ripper, and you're regenerating what
doesn't have any ranged weapons though.
No, it's purely melee.
Right, and with toughness 5, 4 plus arms open 5 wounds.
Yeah, it's very, very squishy.
It's got lone operative.
It's got lone operative, and it's got 12 inches of movement, so it can stay outside of being shot, fly in, do what it kind of needs to do, but it can't shoot. No. You can see why it's not made it to one of my lists. Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe there's something going for it that I can't see. Let's see what the other enhancements do. I mean, it's only got 5 wounds, so it can regenerate twice per turn.
Yeah.
What the arse, I suppose.
You only want to regenerate it once per turn.
It's only the prime. Yeah, the prime, I guess. Yeah.
Death Leaper is an infantry character, but he's an epic hero, so you can't put that on there.
Alright, next one.
Instinctive Defense. Tyranid models only, obviously. I don't know why we keep saying that on every single one of these. It's Tyranid Codex, they all only affect Tyranid models.
Maybe they've got plans for... can you ally in...
No, you can't ally in Genestealer Cult. We all want to be able to ally in Genestealer Cult desperately. I've got a half-built Genestealer Cult army there just in case it did happen.
Not yet. We'll see.
No, we'll see.
But yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. I think mainly because they don't want us to take the Genestealer Cult Genestealers, which are
better.
25% better than Genestealers.
So while the bearer's unit is within 6 of one or more friendly harvester units, so you better have one, You can target the bearer's unit with a heroic intervention for 0. In addition, while the bearer is within 6 of one or more friendly harvester units, models in the bearer's unit have the fight first. So, again, this is for a prime, isn't it?
Yeah, this is for a prime. And, you know, so what you're doing is flying that onto an objective,
Well, I'm thinking with some warriors, right? So the warriors babysit up a harvester unit. Then the whole unit will be able to heroically intervene for serious.
Heroically intervene and fight first if they get charged. So what I'm seeing this working as...
That's harsh. That could be hardcore.
Yeah, this is an army that gets on an objective and sits on objectives.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to shift off. Because if you're playing it right, you're regenerating wounds.
Well, there's my first instinct with instinctive defense. Let's see if we can build on that. So, biophagic flow aura.
Yeah. While a friendly harvester model is within 12 inches of the bearer, when using the feed the swarm ability, which is the detachment rule, that harvester model can regenerate one friendly Tyranid unit that is within 9 inches instead of 6.
Okay, so you're daisy chaining, increase the range.
Yeah. So this is basically
how many points is this? Let me just get it up. So
that is a good question. You know, if this is 10 or 15 points, I'm probably going to take this.
Simulation swarm and it's biophagic flow. It's 10 points.
Yeah. That's 10 points is probably something I'm going to be left over with because of the awkwardness of the point system.
So I'm thinking this is an army that has multiple horror specs. Harvester units that move onto objectives, maybe 2 going into that mid and that one flank. And you have supporting Tyranid warrior units that are hiding behind a building. One of those has got a prime in that can heroically intervene for 0 CP if the horror space gets charged. Bonus.
There's nothing stopping you.
And if you get charged, you fight first, right? The biophagic flow on the other one potentially is just boosting the, perhaps in the midfield where you want to push out and then extend into the enemy's deployment. He can still regenerate those models 9 inches. So if you're thinking middle, you've got 3 inches, you base with the harvester, you know, what's the base, like 4 inches? 4, something like that.
Yeah, well, if you're taking a horror specs, it's a big base.
Okay, so 4, 7 so far, and then 9 beyond that. So you're talking 16 inches from the mid-table, potentially, to regenerate.
You're in.
You're well in the enemy's deployment zone, and you're regenerating.
I hadn't considered that.
Yeah. So that's pretty sweet. So is that, just to, before I get excited, each harvester unit from your army within range and objective marker, it doesn't have to, you don't have to target a model on the objective with the regenerate, right?
No, it's the harvester is on the objective marker.
No, it's only once per phase.
Yeah.
But let's see if the stratagems fix that. Alright, interesting. So parasitic biomorphology. These are easy things to say.
Add 1 to the strength characteristic of a melee weapon equipped by the models in the bearer's unit. The first time the bearer's unit destroys an enemy unit in a fight phase, while the bearer is within 6 inches of a friendly harvester unit until the end of the battle, add 1 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the models in the bearer's unit.
Okay, this is going straight on a prime, right? Or, well, no, because you want your unit to get extra attacks.
So you're increasing, if you've got this is going on a prime, probably attached to some Tyranid warriors again, so you're getting +1 to their strength, and then you're getting +1 to their hit roll as well. If you manage to get that very situational thing of killing something next to a harvester, which with the list we were kind of building as we're going through this, is a very melee heavy list. So,
and it's only the first time. First time the bearer's unit destroys an enemy unit in 5 phase while within 6, it gets +1. So you're only taking it for the +1 strength. The +1 attack is a nice little addition. So what's the strength on a warrior's unit? I'm getting ahead of myself with the warriors. Maybe you could give that to anyone. You could give us a high tyrant.
If you just improving the high tyrant there. So if you're looking at Tyranid warriors, they're strength 5, hit on 3s. So you've suddenly got
strength 6.
A strength 6 unit of Tyranid warriors hitting on 2s.
So what does that mean? That means they're wounding Terminators on 3s now,
Yep.
instead of 4s.
Yeah.
They've also got the sustained hits if you've got a prime in there,
Yeah.
which could help. How many attacks was that? The melee ones?
6 each.
So that's at least one sustained per model.
Yeah. So that's 18 attacks at minimum unit size.
Minimum's 3.
Yeah.
I think you want to run them with how many?
It's 6, up to 6. So
How many warriors? How many points of warriors these days?
the melee ones have just gone down.
6 is 170. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
What are we talking here? What's their stats? So they've got the same toughness as Terminators. They're on 5s. Saves 4+, not so good.
No, not so good.
3 wins, but they have got OC2.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's they're sitting in a strange place at the minute. I think points wise they need to come down. You're not seeing these a lot in people's lists.
In the current iteration.
In current iteration, maybe with this we'll see them change because you can take on a fight phase. You can get re-rolling ones.
Increasing the chance of getting a
Increasing
sustain.
your chance of getting a sustain.
They've got the AP2, which is very important.
Yeah.
Because
I think what lets them down is that damage one.
that is a stinker.
Yeah, it's damage
that
2,
is not good.
but really across the board we're struggling needs to get anything above a damage 1 or any AP. So AP2 is quite nice, but
you're bringing back 1 a turn as well, which makes it with the OC2. I like it. Let's see. Hopefully these. So far, it's teetering on interesting. Not good, but interesting. So into the stratagems.
So first one, Broodguard Impulse. Do this in any phase. 1 halves the unit from your army that was just destroyed. Use this stratagem on that unit, even though it was just destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Until the end of the battle, each time a friendly Tyranid model makes an attack that targets the enemy unit that was just destroyed, your halves the unit that just destroyed your halves the unit, add 1 to the wound roll. So this is probably about baiting the enemy to kill a Ripper Swarm.
Yeah.
On something they don't want to kill a Ripper Swarm with.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Actually. For 1 CP, for how many points was a Ripper again?
20 points for a single Ripper model.
And they've got Deep Strike.
They've got Deep Strike.
Insane.
Yeah.
They're not battle line though, right?
No, they're not.
So you can't take 6.
No.
It's probably too much.
I think it would be broken, and I think you'd probably see more Ripper Swarms than you saw Bio. Biovores.
Okay. Alright, so interesting. Good combo. But also I think that wasn't Games Workshop's intention.
No.
I think as it's called Broodguard Impulse, I think their intention here was to have again nice big horror specs on an objective going, come and get me, and then you can punish them for attacking it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Reclaim biomass.
Yeah, so again, any phase when a Tyranid model from your unit army is destroyed before the last model it is in is removed from play. So this, you're getting attacks, you're signing the wounds, you've got 1 model left, 1 CP, 1 halves the unit from your army that is within 6 inches of the destroyed unit is the requirement. You can regenerate 1 friendly Tyranid unit within 6 inches of halves the unit. So just before it loses its last model, you can use the feed the swarm on it for 1 CP.
And that would regenerate it has to be a different unit.
So no, this is a unit's got shot, which is within 6 inches of a harvester model. So then
it says when it's destroyed though.
Yeah, when it's destroyed, before removing the last one. So you know that last model's going to die. So you go, okay, before that last model dies, I'm going to feed the swarm. So if it's an endless swarm, you're going to get 3 more models put onto that unit. Or if it's a normal infantry unit, you're going to get 1 back, or D3 wounds. So it's that chance to keep that model on the table.
Yeah, I mean, you could use it if it's up, say, horror specs again. I don't know if they're worth taking anymore. They used to be amazing. but that's a way of getting the wounds back on our specs.
Yeah.
As well. So it's okay.
It is.
At least it's after it's happened. Not you don't have to declare it before, which would just be infuriating.
Yeah.
Be shit. So okay. All right, Tyranids formed.
This is in your command phase. One harvester unit from your army that was in range of an objective marker you control. You give it sticky objectives.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice to have for a CP.
Yeah.
When you don't want to be sitting there with something valuable.
Yeah.
Let's get the hell out of dodge.
Yeah, you halfway up the table. They haven't got any deep strike. They've not got any way to get past you. Just keep that swarm just moving up the board.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. I think it synergizes well with certain things.
Yeah.
And you said pyrovores
They are.
weirdly were
Yeah.
harvester units.
Yeah.
So I've been fixated on horse specs just because I know how good they were last
Yeah.
edition. But what are they? Are they any good?
Pyrovores used to be a mainstay in a lot of Nid's armies in 9th.
They're incredibly cheap.
They are incredibly cheap. New model syndrome, I think, a little bit there. Which, to be fair, those new models are gorgeous.
Sold out everywhere.
Yeah,
Obvious reasons.
Yeah. I can't wait for Games Workshop to actually dispatch mine. But yeah, they ignore cover, torrent, twin linked, D6+1 attacks, strength 6, AP -1, 1, and you can take up to 3.
AP -1 and torrent and ignore cover.
Yeah,
That's a nice combo.
that is indeed.
Only 1 damage, but this is what I'm getting at. 30 points.
Yeah.
You get toughness 6.
Yeah.
A 3+ arm save. 5 wounds.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
You've missed out the best bit. If they've shot something, they don't get benefits of cover.
Oh, okay. So they switch off cover for the army.
Yeah,
It's like a hellhound,
yeah,
except it's 30 points.
it is 30
It's
points.
only moving 5. I should add.
Yeah.
There are limitations, but it's a harvester unit.
It is, but this is, I think, you're playing these probably the same way you were playing them in 9th edition. These are starting in your strategic reserve, coming on turn 2 or turn 3 from the side of the board, flaming something before all your big weapons
You
go.
don't think these are a good candidate for Overwatch?
I think they are a good candidate for Overwatch. It's that 5-inch movement I'm struggling with, getting them.
Yeah.
They've only got a 12-inch range.
Yep. Oh, again, I think this entire blocking the camera of the pages here. This entire detachment seems to be focused around, as you said, sitting on an objective and saying, "Come get me,"
Yeah, you know what?
which is quite good.
You know what you can do though. They are infantry. They've got more than 1 wound, so they count as 2 if you load them into a tyrannocyte, which
The drop testicle.
the drop testicle.
The drop testicle.
Yes. Yeah.
Our favourite model.
Yeah. I do love it. So let's look at just that quickly. Model 20 Tyranid infantry units, or 1 Tyranid monster. For each infantry unit that has a wound characteristic of more than 1, it takes up 3 spaces. So you can fit 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. You can fit 2 units of pyrovores in a tyrannocyte, drop them off turn 1.
This is ridiculous.
That is.
90 points.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. Let's just think about that for a moment. I mean, the chances of getting it onto an objective are pretty slim because your opponent's not going to give you 9-inch leeway to get onto an objective. That's the problem. Because it'd be nice to just drop straight onto an objective with them.
First turn, drop in a tyrannocyte.
Does it come in first turn?
It's a drop pod. It comes in first turn.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. You have just dropped a tyrannocyte, which, to be fair, tyrannocytes aren't a slouch in this edition anymore.
No.
They can move, they can melee attack, and they can shoot. They've got 10 wounds, toughness 9.
Yeah, okay, so in my head right now, I'm just thinking they're shite in combat, right? What are they? They're shit in combat. So, you come in, drop testicle, flamers come out, maybe they hit something, maybe they don't, probably not if you get turn 1.
Yeah.
Your opponent shouldn't be that stupid,
No.
but maybe they are.
But if they are, that's a hell of a lot of punishment to drop
That's a
on someone.
lot of punishment, and you've got rippers as
Yeah.
well. So, how fast are rippers?
I want to say 4 off the top of my
Oh,
head.
really?
6. No, they're 6.
So can they get? It's a big ask to get them onto an objective potentially. So 10 inches, maybe it's 4 plus chance.
You can fit 2 units of rippers into a trial site.
No, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you start the rippers on the table, 1 unit behind a wall, straight on the front line. You advance it, 50-50 chance of getting that 4 plus.
Yeah.
You get onto the objective, you tag it. It's now got a 6-inch regeneration protection bubble for your higher sites that now don't have to come down on that if you can't get onto
They're
it.
already harvested.
But they are, but they wouldn't be on the objectives. So they
True.
wouldn't be able to get their own regeneration. And the only reason I'm saying that is because that's a shit ton of shooting.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 6 d6 plus 1 each. So 6, basically plus 6.
Yeah.
No, because you only have 3. What am I talking about?
Yeah, well, you've got 2 units.
Oh yeah, that's where I'm getting 6 from. I'm liking this. And was there anything with the reclaim? It doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
Well, they can all reclaim, can't they, actually? So they can all regenerate.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking about those Tyranid warriors sitting in behind a wall. When the inevitable countercharge comes in, you go heroically intervene with the warriors. And, you know, that's not good for the opponent.
No, and
because they thought they were getting a fucking...
You've overwatched them on the way in as well.
Potentially. Yeah.
So there's just flaming hunks of biomass for the Tyranid warriors just to go over and go, dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
I think it's fucking cool. I think we've just come up with the pyro bomb.
Yeah.
How much is the pyro bomb? It's 100... I can't believe my eyes. It's 180 points for 6 of these fuckers. And I don't know what the stats are on the killing ratio, but that's... I'm sure you've done the legwork somewhere.
Yeah.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. Maybe they're not that cool. It'd be better if they had some anti-tank capability, given the meta.
Yeah.
But I'll see if I can find it. The link you sent out. So carry on with these stratagems while I look that up.
So, the next one is ablative carapace. On your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, just after an enemy unit has been selected as a target, one harvest unit from your army that was selected as a target for one or more of these attacking units' attacks. Until the end of that phase, the model in that unit has a 5-up feel no pain. If it's on an objective, until the end of the phase, it's got a 4-up feel no pain. Horror specs with a 4-up feel no pain. Oof. Yes, please.
That's sexy. It's too
It
CP.
is. It's the big CP, but
and it's not a battle. It's not a battle tactic.
It's not. But mortal wounds, devastating wounds. You really kind of want. If I'm fighting you and you're in your Eldar, I'm keeping 2 CP off to a side, just for that.
Yeah, and with the changes to devastating wounds, it's nice to have.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the feel no pain rather than against the mortals.
Yeah.
So, again, I like it. Just checking out the Pyrovores now. They are, point for point, all green.
Yeah.
Across the
They're
board.
one of the only ones there. That are green.
Very point effective for the damage. Saying that, they're cheap. So, actually, their damage output's not great. Typically, per model, you're only killing 4 termagants.
Yeah.
Not massive. Terminators, you are killing 1. It's that mighty AP without ignoring cover. That's helping you there. It's getting them down to their 3s.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I rate them.
Yeah. So do I.
It's 180 points.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that little deal with this.
The only downside to it, to bring you back into the real world, they're 30 quid a model.
Well, of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So, take me out of my fucking... Shoot me out of my cloud, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Somebody out there
Somebody out there is
gonna put that together.
Yeah.
You can thank me for that one later. Okay, secure the biomass.
Again, fight phase, Tyranid model that has not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of that phase, melee weapons equipped by the model in your unit have the lethal hits ability. If your unit is a harvester unit, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, it crits on a 5+. So, I hate to bring him up again. He's one of my favourite models in this edition. The Horror Specs is getting lethal hits on a 5+. That is 18 attacks.
So 6 extra.
6 extra attacks. Yeah. It's not something to be laughed at for a CP. And to be honest, a Horror Specs on its own is a nasty thing to deal with.
Okay, I think this is fun. I don't know if it's game winning, this list, but
No.
it's goddamn fun.
Someone out there is going to build something that is absolutely filthy with this army.
Hopefully.
A day of looking at the codex isn't really enough to do that for me.
No. I would say there's not enough movement shenanigans in here that make it a truly good tournament list, but we'll see. Anyway, Rapicious Hunger.
Rapicious Hunger, in your fight phase, one Tyranid unit from your army that has destroyed an enemy unit. So as soon as you've destroyed an enemy unit, your unit immediately regenerates from the Feed the Swarm ability. When doing so, if the unit is a harvester unit and you choose one model to regain D3 lost wounds, that model regains up to 3 lost wounds instead. So yeah, you automatically get the full 3 if you kill the unit.
So, again, you're thinking Horror Specs, aren't you?
Yeah.
Keeping that mother alive.
It's really hard to look at anything in this list and not think Horror Specs.
Yeah, whenever I'm alone with my wife,
Think about regenerating D3 wounds.
if I need to get across the finish line, I just imagine a Horror Specs and it gets me there. So, okay.
And that's why I'm divorced.
So that was a great one. I enjoyed that. That was the most fun one so far. And now we're
are going to... This is what I am considering going to be the most fun
of the lot.
Yeah, of all of this in here.
Right, just let me grab a note, because I feel like I need to do some note taking here for a minute. Because
you can't use these against me in the future.
No, I know, but I'm going to help you. Where's my notepad? Because I don't want to be type clickety clackety clickety. I want to be stretching. It's like a long, weird ass notepad. Because I'm sick of accidentally forgetting. This one. What units have the keywords? So, what I'll do now is as we go through, that's not a pen, it is a pen. Alright, so Vanguard Onslaught.
Vanguard Onslaught. So this is...
So what are the keywords here that are relevant?
Vanguard Invader.
Vanguard Invader. So just talk us through this detachment.
So
far.
So this here is the most exciting one for me.
Right.
To do. I think this is shenanigan heavy, and you've known me long enough. I absolutely love lictors. I think they're the funnest unit ever.
I love them myself. Yeah.
So this is all about lictors basically, and gene stealers. It's about time gene stealers got their moment in the sun. So they've got 2 detachment rules on this one. The first detachment rule: Tyranid units, questing tendrils, Tyranid units with this ability are eligible to charge in a turn they fell back. Vanguard Invader units with this ability are eligible to charge in a turn they advanced.
You know what I just saw?
What?
A Flying Hive Tyrant is a Vanguard Invader.
Flying Hive Tyrant is a Vanguard Invader.
Yeah.
It can advance and charge. You know what else is a Vanguard Invader?
Tyranid Prime?
Gene Stealers.
I'm messing with you. I know how much you love the Prime.
I've got 3 of them sat on a shelf unpainted.
Yeah, they are shite. Well, I'm seeing some synergy from the last one. But anyway,
Yeah.
I was only teasing you.
I know. So the other detachment rule is Vanguard Prime. This is an interesting one. Death Leaper loses the Hunter Organism rule and can be your warlord.
Okay. He is a epic hero, right?
He's an epic hero lictor. He does everything a lictor does, but better.
So I feel like this is the one that Games Workshop's leaning into for this edition, because I'm already looking. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the camera, but I'm going through all of the units at the moment. I'm looking at the detachments, the keywords, and there are so many Vanguard invaders.
Yeah. It's basically anything lictor based, anything with a scout, anything that flies is a Vanguard invader.
I'm blown away. Gene Stealers, of course.
Yeah.
So the advance and charge.
Yep.
It's big, right? But even so, the whole unit gets to fall back.
Yep. Yeah. So you advance and charge into battle. You then fall back out of battle. Everything shoots it, and you recharge it. Just what more could you ask from a melee list? Which is what this is, really.
So the Death Leaper being your warlord, does that matter so much? Is that just because maybe you don't want to take any other?
Yeah, you might not want to take any other type of thing, but to be honest, I'm probably taking a Flying High Tyrant.
Yeah, you've got it.
Yeah, and I'm probably keeping it with the melee weapons as well.
So what's the points on the Tyrant? Did I already look that up? Flying Hive Tyrant.
210?
La 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 la. Tyrant with wings, is it called now?
Winged Hive Tyrant.
There you go, that's why. 210, yeah. Good shout.
I'm right sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So, just going through the list. Did I miss anything? Just going through.
Yeah. One thing I do want to quickly check. Vanguard Invader. Harpy and Hivecron.
Your flying testicle is apparently.
Yep.
For what it's worth.
Well, it can advance and charge with its 6-inch movement. 8. It's
got 10 wounds.
Yep.
It's not a slouch in combat either.
No, it's
attack,
not.
Strength 7, 2 damage each.
Yep. As our local Fountain Sun player found out the other week.
Good.
Yeah. And then it exploded. One of the 2 times my units have exploded, that exploded.
Von Leapers are, of course.
Yeah.
Although they're a bit disappointing for me. They've got the 10-inch move.
Yeah, they've got 10-inch move. They've got fight first. That's probably what's going for them. They're anti-Katachan unit, should we say? Small, weak, melee combat unit.
Who
light
needs,
infantry.
Who needs help killing Katachans? That's the question. Right. All right. So let's go through it. Let's go through the enhancements.
Okay. So first one, hunting ground. While the bearer is on the battlefield, each time your opponent sets up a reserve unit on the battlefield, roll 1d6. On a 2+, that unit must make a battle shock test.
Okay, so that can stop them from claiming secretaries.
Yep.
Doing actions.
Yep.
From obviously taking stratagems.
Yep.
How many points is that? It's a nice little thing to have.
It's a cheeky little one, isn't it?
It's a nice to have. What's this called? Vanguard, and that one's called Hunting Grounds, which is 20 points.
See that's in that area. It's all right, but am I taking a unit? Am I taking a?
Let's find out. We'll go through it. It might make more sense. Go on.
Chameleonic. Vanguard Invader models only. The bearer has the stealth ability, and each time a range attack targets the bearer's unit, models in the unit have the benefit of cover against attacks.
So where do you think that's useful?
This is going on my flying, my Flyrant, my Winged Hive Tyrant. Yeah, stealth ability -1 to hit and shoot in, and he's got the benefits of cover.
That's hilarious, actually.
Yep.
It's got 2+ save anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
It's got a 4+ invuln.
Benefits of cover -1 to hit. That's not very nice.
No.
Toughness 9.
And I've just put melee weapons on him. Is in my head, so my idea is I'm running him up the board. I've just advanced, charged, killed one of your units. He's now sat there, sat in the wind. Oh wait, no, he's -1 to hit.
And it's still got the 0 stratagem.
Yeah, I believe he's got Paradoxium as well.
He has, which is fight phase. You can select one enemy unit within 12, visible to the model, on the D6, D3 models, 2+, subtract 1 from the attacks characteristics and weapons equipped by models in that unit.
Yeah. So not
it's
only are they hitting you less, they're also shooting less.
Good synergy, right? I'm not sure that's what they intended, but
no, probably not. But what they intend and what we do with it are usually two different things.
That's quite right. That is quite right.
Yeah. So next enhancement is Stalker. Vanguard Invader models only once again.
Yeah.
At the start of the battle, select one enemy unit. Each time the bearer makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, add 1 to the hit roll, add 1 to the wound roll. So this is, you fight it. Yeah, basically, yeah. They've got a knight on the table, one big knight, and they've taken loads of small ones. Yeah, okay, I've got +1 to hit, my +1 to wound on it. Or something you just really want off the board.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Just looking here. Okay, so I'm just looking at how it synergizes with all the different ones in here. So yeah, carry on, sorry.
Now the next one is the one you're going to get excited about.
Neuronode. 30 points.
This is going to be 30 points, and I think it's well deserved the 30 points. Tyranid model only. After both players have deployed their armies and determined who has first turn, select up to 3 Vanguard Invader units from your army and redeploy those units. When doing so, any of those units can be placed in strategic reserve, regardless of how many units are in strategic reserve. So you can have 50% of your army in strategic reserve with base rules. You've deployed the rest of the 50%. You've then taken 3 entire units off, so you've now got more than 50% of your army in strategic reserve.
Can you do that though?
Yes, regardless of how many units are already in strategic reserve.
So you can basically take everything off. But it's a redeploy, I'm like.
Yeah.
Because you can totally fake out.
Yeah.
Especially with that. Basically, so much the army's got, if we're looking at just taking Vanguard, it's got Infiltrate, it's got Scout.
Yeah.
So you're false putting down lictors down all over the shop.
And it's after you've determined first turn, so you've set up that Alpha Strike. You've not got Alpha Strike anymore. You've not got first turn. Boom, boom, boom. Move it back.
I love it.
Yeah, it's just absolutely just beans, as you would say.
So into stratagems.
Yeah, so stratagems. Why don't you go into them?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so one CP when in the shooting phase or the fight phase. So it's in your turn only. Tactics: 1 Vanguard unit from your army that has been selected to shoot or fight this phase, and 1 enemy unit. So there you go. That enemy unit must take a battle shock test. So that synergizes well with the Death Reapers -1. Until the end of the phase, each time modeling that your unit makes an attack that targets the enemy, add 1 to the hit roll. If it is battle shocked, add 1 to the wound roll. Okay. So that's good to do. Again, you need to get that critical midfield objective.
Yeah.
It just helps you get across the finish line. What are the hit rates like on, say, Von Leapers or Lictors? Or I mean, they can't be terrible, can they?
Lictors are quite nice, but Von Leapers 6 attacks each, hitting on 3+, strength 5, AP -1 damage. So really, they're chaff clearing.
Yeah. But that's good in this case because you might be sending them into chaff to take that objective off.
Yeah.
And hitting on 2s is a big difference.
Yeah. Or you're sending in a Lictor with precision, 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 7, AP -2, 2 damage. So maybe that's just that push you need just to get rid of.
Can anything lead Von Ryan's thingamajigs?
Sorry?
The Von Ryan's Leapers. Can anything join them?
No. When they were originally announced, I expected them to be. I was expecting Lictors to get the character keywords, to be honest, and them to be leaders of Von Leapers. I was still kind of hoping out for it in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
okay. It's good. you know, it's good if you want to get those Von Leapers in, force the battle shock and then decimate.
Yeah. Or Gene Stealers.
Of course, Gene Stealers. What do they hit on?
Gene Stealers. Let me just flip to that page. Gene Stealers are hitting on 2s, 4 attacks each, strength 4, AP -2, 1. So that plus.
What, any special rules?
They get to reroll hit rolls of 1, and they get to, if they're on objective, they get to reroll hit rolls of 1, wound rolls of 1 as well. And
Is it really wasted on them? Maybe.
if they're being led by a Broodlord, they get devastating wounds.
So you want the rerolls and the +1s.
Yep.
They've got twin links,
No, they don't.
but they only get rerolls of 1.
Only rerolls of 1.
Okay.
Or you know, you then strength 5. Well, you're not you +1 to your wound roll, aren't you? With that.
If they're battle shock.
Yeah.
So there's a few things that need to kind of synergize there. With this is starting to. There's a few things that come up here with battle shock.
Yeah.
So does that work well in Neuro Tyrant?
I would be taking a Neuro Tyrant on this.
That only works during battle shock though.
Yeah.
With -1, it doesn't work army wide.
No.
So when we go looking at the units, I want to look at everything.
Yeah.
Everything that affects battle shock tests.
Yeah.
And
then there is quite a few. There's the new Neurolictor, which inflicts battle shock as well, and actually hits better on battle shock.
Let's have a look at him quick. So he's got what? Piercing claws, precision.
Yeah.
6 attacks, weapon skill 2, strength 6, AP2. It's always good to have AP2. Damage 1.
Yeah, that's what he hits the same as a Lictor, but he does 1 damage instead of 2.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I think what lets him down a little bit is he in your command phase, select one enemy unit within 12 inches of this model, and they've got to take a battle shock test. And while a unit is battle shocked within 12 inches of it, each time modelling that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Each time a friendly Tyranid unit, add 1 to the wound roll. So this is interesting. Because that's what you want to be doing. You want to be battle shocking stuff, so you're wounding it better. But it negates
that's
the
for range and combat.
Yeah.
Oh, it negates because you have to be within 12.
You've got to be within 12. So you are dropping this in. It's got a 4-up invulnerable save, which is nice. But you're dropping this in. You're trying to battle shock a unit so stuff can finish it off.
It's a utility unit.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of offense, but it's T5, which is nice. 7 wounds, it's even better, and that's a Neurolictor. I'm expecting it to be good. It's a new model, but it's not always true. It's 65 points.
Yeah.
Okay. You probably won't get that back in killing.
No.
But you will perhaps get it back in utility.
Yeah.
So that guy is forcing battle shocks every turn, and is it a -1? No. No, it's not. So he's probably working well with the Death Leaper, who's giving out the -1 modifiers.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm liking it. It's interesting. So next one is the Assassin Beast. So fight phase, 1 Vanguard Invader Infantry. So not the Flyrant.
No.
That's been selected to fight. It gets precision. It speaks for itself. Seeded Broods. In your movement phase, 1 Tyranid unit from your army that is in reserve, or up to 2 Vanguard units, until the end of the phase, for the purposes of setting up those selected units on the battlefield, to treat the current battle round number as being 1 higher than it actually is.
You're deep striking
in turn 1.
Turn 1.
So that goes well with your Neuro node.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've set up your Alpha Strike
for a CP.
For a CP, well, you've not got first turn, so you've taken them off. They've gone into strategic reserve. For a CP, you've now just set 2 of those up in their thing. If they've been careless, behind enemy lines, where they've moved from.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, what are the 2 best? One of the best secondaries you can get for scoring is what is it? The one with the corners.
Investigate signals.
Investigate signals. You can get 8 points for that.
Yeah.
The only problem with it is it's also one of the hardest ones to get because you have to sacrifice units to do it.
Yeah.
That, yeah, you could use it for striking and stuff like that. But I'm immediately thinking if you've got rippers in reserve.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
If you got that first turn,
and you're unlucky enough to pull that fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, you've put a spore mine in one corner.
Yeah.
You put a ripper swarm in another corner using that stratagem, and then you've just moved 2 units to the other corners.
Yeah. You're always setting up, so you've got that option, right? Just in case you get it. And there's only 1 in 16 chance of getting it, but you don't want to take that.
No,
chance.
for 8 victory points, it's worth setting up in that order.
Yeah. And assuming your opponent's stupid enough to leave this corner.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, they don't. If you tell them you don't have anything in deep strike.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what your lictors, your Von Leapers are there for. Let's pull them out. Let's give them something easy to go at.
Yeah, maybe. They're cheap, right? Von Ryan's
Leapers.
No, not really. 75 for 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Interesting. Seeded Broods. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Here we go. Expensive one. Hyper Sentry Cilia?
Cilia, yeah.
You want to do this one?
Yeah.
Missing clusters of Cilia, warn of the slightest prey movement, allowing Tyranids to react. So
this is Cilia. I think it's, all the hairs and stuff and sensors on someone's skin. Your opponent's movement phase just after the enemy unit ends a normal, advance or fall back move, or to 2 Vanguard invader units from your army that are within 9 inches of that enemy unit, or 1 other Tyranid infantry unit from your unit that is within 9 inches. Those selected can make a normal move up to 6 inches. You cannot target units that are within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So immediately you can bait and switch.
Yeah.
You can move on to objectives. You out last night.
Yeah, you've got your Lictor. It's a lone operative and can't be shot. They've just moved within 12 inches of it.
Shoot it.
To shoot it.
Imagine the frustration.
Yep.
Because the chances of them moving within 6 would be slim.
Yeah, this is slightly less frustrating than fighting Alpha Legion in Horus Heresy.
Or indeed Eldar with Phantasm.
Yeah, which has just got nerfed into the ground.
Well, it's
infantry only, man.
Infantry only, but that's fine.
Which it should have been from the start.
Yeah, well, you can see what I can see into the future doesn't matter what's being affected by it. Anyway, so that's in your opponent's movement phase, but it is just after an enemy unit has ended the move. Unlike Phantasm, which happens at the end of the movement phase, which is why it's so goddamn powerful, because your opponent uses all of their movement, and then you go, I think I'll move him here.
Yeah.
This is trickier, because this is one at a time. You're going to have to call that at the right moment. Bit of a pain, especially for the price, because it's not as good as Phantasm. It's twice the cost.
Yeah. It's nice to have if you've got the CP there, which you've got lots of ways to regain CP with this with the Vanguard, because you're taking lictors. Then fine.
Great. Okay, so Unseen Lurkers.
Unseen Lurkers. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has been selected its target. On Vanguard invader unit from your army that has been selected as target of 1 or more attacks, units attacks, until the end of the phase, your unit can only be selected as the target of a ranged attack if the attacking model is within 12 inches, or if your unit has a lone operative ability, the attacking unit model must be within 6 inches. Your opponent can select a new target.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's going to keep your horror specs or your flyer alive.
It is indeed. Yeah.
That is horrible.
Yeah.
Assuming you put the horror specs in there, you don't have to.
Yeah. No.
I just know every list has one, so I just assume they're still going to.
Most probably. I've already built a little cheeky Vanguard's onslaught.
How many flyers?
Only one.
Only one.
I have got.
They are a bit pricey.
Yeah, I have got 3 of every lictor that I can have.
Just because you want.
Maybe. Yeah, 3 units of 10 Gene Stealers with a Broodlord in each one.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced on Gene Stealers yet. I've seen the damage output on them; it's pretty good.
Yeah, I again, it's something I want to get on the table.
The fact you can give them lone operative next Gene Stealers very interesting.
Yeah,
that's the new thing.
Yeah,
that changes the game.
Yeah. Or a lictor that you can only shoot within 6 inches.
It's not a battle tactic.
It's not a battle tactic.
That's
no.
annoying.
That is. But
Neither is hypersensory units.
No.
Okay,
No.
fair enough.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Invisible Hunter. So, at end of your opponent's fight phase, up to 2 Vanguard Invader units from your army, or 1. There's a similar theme. Effect: remove the targeted unit from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserve. The target unit must be more than 3 inches away from all enemy units. So, not within engagement, basically. It can just bugger off. It does not say. Okay, so opponent's fight phase.
So this is at the end of their turn.
Yeah.
End of the opponent's turn. You go, actually, these 2 that have been sat at the back the entire game, boom. I'll deep strike them over there.
Well, it doesn't say you can deep strike.
Well, no, they're just going to strategic reserve. So at the end of your movement phase next time, if they're deep strike units, you can deep strike
if they are.
Yeah.
So, what's deep striking? Not Gene Stealers. Gene Stealers are Scout 8. That's really good.
Yeah, 8 movement, 8.
That's good.
8 scouts, so that's a 16-inch movement first turn.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good. That's getting you where you need to go. Unfortunately, the Death Leaper is not.
The Lictor is not. It's an infiltrator.
Oh, that's so annoying.
The infiltrator just is set up, isn't it, these days?
Yeah, it is. I'm afraid.
It used to be a deep strike unit. Well, yeah, there will be some synergy.
Hive Tyrant.
Flyrant is definitely a deep strike.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. Flyrant!
Yeah.
They should just change this to the Flyrant Onslaught.
Yeah.
Well, here's my list of Vanguard. I've got the Prime,
which is deep strike.
Flying Hive Tyrant, Neurolictor.
No.
It's interesting because that could come down and do its Battle Shock.
Yeah,
bubble.
but it's not got deep strike. I am shocked. I naturally assumed. I think it's Gargoyles, deep strike, Vanguard Invader.
Oh well, okay, fair enough. But it could win a game. What's the OC on those guys?
2.
Yeah, okay, we got no different. Okay, Parasite is Gargoyles, Gene Stealers, Death Leaper, Lictor, Flying Testicle, and Von Leapers.
Yeah. Sorry, can we redeploy the
Flying?
Testicle?
Yes, I think you could.
That is deep strike. Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't fill it with more units.
Can it not get back in?
No.
Is it not actually a transport?
No, it is a transport, but aerial seed in this model. Any units embarked with this model must immediately disembark from the battlefield, and they have to be set up. After this model has been set up on the battlefield, no units can embark on it, which would be fun to load up the Tyranid site again and.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Curse you, Games Workshop.
It's a big model to block something though.
Yeah, it's just it's an interesting idea that's basically going to give you the opportunity. No, it won't give you the opportunity to move after coming back down. That's the only problem with it.
No.
I think it can just be a, oh no, you failed your charge. Oh,
Yeah.
it's not here anymore.
Yeah.
So it could be just one of those. It's a lot of misdirection, a lot of feints.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I think this is potentially one of the most competitive ones in here.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to have a very high ceiling for people to play this correctly. This is basically Tyranids learning a bit from the Gene Stealer Court.
Maybe. It seems to play more like Eldar, from what I've read of it. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, I see what you're saying with redeploying and blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. So is this the last one? Synaptic?
No, we've got Yeah, this is the last one. Synaptic Nexus.
So finally, we're down to the 6th one, and we'll see at the end of this which ones we'd get rid of.
Yeah.
And which ones you think you probably never run. Which ones you will competitively.
Yeah. Well, there's stuff in here that I would run on a club night, friendly game. Probably stuff I would run specifically if I've got a friendly game against a new player, because the risk with running a friendly game against a new player with NIDs at the minute is if I was to run what I would have ran in Knight for that, it's very strong, and I'm just going to shoot the guy off, and I don't want to get someone whose first game and they have 40 guns.
I understand.
Shooting. Yeah.
So anyway, for those who do want to smash face, Synaptic Nexus, let's have a look. So what's the detachment rule?
So Synaptic Imperatives is the detachment rule for this. At the start of the battle round, you can select one Synaptic Imperative shown below. Until the end of the battle round, that Synaptic Imperative is active for your army, and while a Tyranid unit for your army is within the Synaptic range, it will gain the benefit of it. Each Synaptic Imperative can only be selected once per battle. We've got 3 Synaptic Imperatives. Synaptic Augmentation, while this unit is within Synaptic range of your army, models in this unit have a 5-up invulnerability save. The second one is Surging Vitality. While this unit is within Synaptic range of your army, add 1 to its advanced roll and charge rolls. And Goaded to Slaughter. While this unit is within a Synaptic range of your army, each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll.
Do you know what? All that's going through my head right now is Hormigans. So, anyway, I'm sure there's something else out there.
There probably is, but yeah, I'm there as well.
That's where you're with so far.
Yeah.
Things that don't have invuns, but there's enough of them where 5+ makes a difference. Or where you want to be advancing and charging, that's where that's probably come from. G-Stealers can't advance and charge, but they have 5% invuln anyway, so no use there. And then the goading, again, it's helping you out because you're only hitting on 4s, Hormigans? Holy crap. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what lets Hormigans down.
That does.
Hitting on 3s is a big difference because they're all getting 3 attacks each. You've got a swarm of 20 of them, that's 60 attacks hitting on 3s.
Here's one for the books. Tyranid warriors are synapse creatures. And therefore give themselves a 5+ invuln, which is what they are missing. They are missing an invuln save.
True.
That's a big blob.
Yeah, because then you've got the 4-up normal armor save.
You've got 5 toughness.
Yeah, 5 toughness, 5-up invuln. So anything above -1, which would usually probably be killing them instantly, is you got a chance to survive it. 85
points, 3 models. What's that into 3? 60, and then 25.
So they're hitting on 3s, so they're now hitting on 2s.
28 points each, approximately. So a Terminator's 40. They're hitting on 2s. It's not all of them. You choose one, right? At the start of the battle round.
Yeah. So this is like, was it Doctrines for Space Marines in 9th edition? This is basically that. You select a doctrine on a specific round, but you've only got 3, so you're going to have 2 rounds where you've got no detachment rule. Yeah,
it goes well with their... also, with their... There's a lot of moving parts here, right? There's a lot of calling it in advance, because not only do you have to do this at the start of the battle round, which means the start of your opponent's fucking turn if they go first, and I play Space Marines now, and I know how tricky that can be. But you've also got to remember at the fight phase, you've got to select one of their imperatives. So, okay, there's one example. Have we got any big monsters that are lacking? You've got pyrovores, which I just want to make them work.
Yeah.
They've got no invuns.
Mama Bear hasn't got an invuln.
Doesn't need a hit though.
No. Your
Carnifexes haven't got invuns.
No. Your... I hate to bring him up yet again.
What?
Your horror specs.
You don't hate to bring it up.
No, I don't.
I do need to look at this guy's stats. He hasn't got an invuln.
No, he hasn't.
And maybe +1 in advance. It's not really a big deal. Malceptor. We'll have to go through it. It's a Psychophage hasn't got an invuln.
No.
I'm just looking for things that can advance and charge. I can only see one thing, which is the Hormigans.
Which is the Hormigans, yeah.
Is that the only thing?
Yeah, I believe so.
Alright, anyway, let's go into the enhancements. Maybe we'll unlock some more synergies there.
So, the power of the Hive Mind. Tyranid Psycho model only. Improve the strength and armor penetration characteristic of psychic weapons equipped by that bearer by 1.
Okay.
So, again, this is probably going on your Swarm Lord. So, he's
an epic hero, isn't
he? He's an epic hero, so he's not going on him.
Shit.
Yeah.
So, who can have psychic attacks?
Neuro Tyrant.
Yeah. I mean, that is the synapse creature. Maybe that's where they're going with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it makes it strength 6.
Yeah.
And gives it an AP of 2.
Yeah.
So suddenly it's quite good at killing Terminators.
Yeah. And
Ignores cover.
Yeah. It's torrent.
18
Ignores
inch.
cover. 18 inch.
That's pretty tasty.
2d6
actually.
attacks as well.
That's pretty tasty,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Mm.
So, what? Let's just. I don't want to get too drawn into it. I think Neurotyrant there is pretty sweet because I think they're kind of shit, to be honest.
Yeah, they've not been in many of my lists.
They're 105 points.
Yeah.
That is tasty.
And they're not an epic. You can take 3 of them.
Yeah, but you can only take the enhancement once.
Yeah.
But there is it assault.
No.
Shit. It's only moving 6 as well.
Yeah.
While this model's leading a unit, we're just going to take a moment to look at the Neurotyrant because I've been desperate for this thing to be useful. While this model's leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Battle shock. If the target's bonus, okay, who cares? Because it can only lead Neuro bitches.
So, you are putting Tyrant Guard on this.
Can he go with Tyrant Guard? Yes.
Yeah.
And if 1 or more models in your army are this ability in the battlefield, they only shadow up. Yep, you know that. Neuroloids extend.
So this unit's got 2 little Gribblies. You attach them to a unit there inside.
I have a brief memory. So what were you saying about Tyrant Guard in this?
So you're attaching Tyrant Guard to this, and then that whole unit has +1 to hit and +1 to wound as well. So you're going up to strength 6. So you're wounding Terminators on 3, but because you're in a unit, it's leading a unit. It's now wounding Terminators on 2s.
It's +1 to wound. It's not +1 strength.
No, this is with the Node Lash, the psychic ability for attaching it to a unit. The unit gets +1 to wound.
Yeah.
So you've now got 2d6.
I can't find them. What page are you on?
This is the Neurotyrant's abilities.
Sorry, no, the Tyrant Guard. I can't
The
find
Tyrant Guard are in a weird place. Again, I will bring it up again. The ordering of this codex's units does not make sense. They are random.
Oh, that's awful. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, trying to find anything is...
It's almost like they want you to buy cards or something.
Oh.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Found them. Holy crap, they're near the back. Alright, Tyrant Guard. 5+ feel no pain. Ooh. Me likey.
Yeah. Neurotyrant, 4 up save, 4 up invul, 5 up feel no pain.
And this will give them something they're lacking.
Yeah.
This detachment, which is that 5+ invul.
Yeah.
Which you need. 100% you'd need that. And you can give them +1 to hit anyway, because they're goaded to slaughter.
Yeah.
So they hit on 3, they go to hit on 2s, but they get that anyway from the Neuro.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's useless. So you just pop in that 5+ invul every day of the week,
Yeah.
right?
If you I'm not sure what weapons you're putting on here. I'm always tempted by Crushing Claws, Strength 8. So you wound in big vehicles if you can get them in there with the 6-inch movement on 4s.
Yeah, the +1 advance, I suppose, could come in. Alright. Okay, we've maybe found a use for Tyrant Guards, but it's only 2 attacks, strength 8.
Yeah.
Hit on 4s. Well, they hit on 3s, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 damage is nice. AP2 is always nice. Twin linked is very good, especially when you get a +1 to wound.
Yeah.
Suddenly you can smash some tanks, but it's only damage 2. Okay, come on,
Yeah.
let's crack on.
Right.
Psychostatic disruption. So Tyranid synapse model. So any character with. Basically.
Yeah.
Enemy units arrive on a battlefield from reserves, cannot set within 12. Nice, big bubble for denial.
Yeah.
In addition, once per battle during the first or second battle round, when your opponent declares that a unit will arrive from a battlefield from strategic reserves, 4+, it cannot, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, nice utility. How many points is that? That's basically, people pay 100 points for any curses.
I reckon that's going to be 30 points, that one. I reckon that's going to be the 30-point one.
It's called 30. You called it. Yeah, it's 30.
Yeah.
It makes it like people take Space Marine units, the Inceptors.
Yeah.
No, Infiltrators. They give you the 12-inch denial bubble, and people will spend 100 points just for that.
Yeah.
So
30 points for that on something, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's alright. But it also has the addition of shutting down strategic reserves as well.
Yeah, which has got to be frustrating for another player. It's like, turn 1, turn 2, you're not dropping. Move. Yeah, you're not dropping all your strategic reserve. You're probably only going to drop 1 unit. So it's like, actually, no, mate, you've got to do that next turn. Mm-hmm. And now I know that's coming, so I can screen for it a bit better.
Great. Synaptic control, Tyranid synapse model only. Each time an attack is allocated to the bearer, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack.
Yeah.
Only the bearer.
Yep.
Boo.
Yeah. But this is probably going on you. Hive Tyrant or something like that. A Mama Bear with it, maybe?
Maybe.
For yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a Mama Bear. It would have been awesome. Awesome on a character with Tyrant Guard. Anyway, Dirge Heart of Karis Aura. What the hell?
This was a relic, I believe. You can check, actually. You've got the 9th edition. I believe this was a relic.
The 9th edition. Let me just check it's the right one.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. You've got to check the back cover.
What am I supposed to do?
It's a relic.
Oh my god, mate.
Next page.
Called
Dirge Heart of Karis.
There's so many relics in here.
Yeah. There's only 2 you ever took. Is it not?
No, I don't. It's not in here. Maybe it was a crusade. Oh, I found it.
Oh.
Unit loses -1 leadership. Lose OC. Okay.
Which is exactly what it does. In this edition.
Consistency.
9-inch enemy unit within 9 inches of the bearer worsens its leadership by 1. So this is synergising with your Shadow in the Warp. And
yeah, but you can't increase or decrease by more than 1, can you?
No.
So not really. Unless there's something that's causing them in the addition.
You've lost your Neurotyrant, or you are doing one of the things that causes battle shock in a unit when it hits.
Yeah, we'd have to look at them.
Yeah.
So the Smothering Shadow, first of the 6 stratagems. When any phase, just after an enemy unit fails a battle shock test. Okay, so hoping and praying on that one. 1 synapse unit from your army within 12 of that enemy unit. Okay, Jesus, we're setting up a series of fucking things here.
Yeah.
Roll a d6 for each 3+, the enemy unit suffers 1 more.
Yeah.
So roll 6 d6, so 4 mauls.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be useful.
Yeah.
Very situational.
It is extremely situational. But this... No, sorry, I thought that was going to be a battle tactic, so no. This isn't, this is a strategic plan.
Yeah, the next one is Synaptic Channeling.
Yeah.
Command phase, 1 synapse unit from your army. Until the end of the turn, while a friendly Tyranid unit is within 9 of selected unit, that unit is within synapse range.
Weak source, especially with what you're building with the enhancements and stuff. You're taking Neurotyrants, you're dropping Neuroloids on them, and they're going to be within synapse anyway.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is if you are desperate to get Synaptic Imperatives down, and you've accidentally got a unit that's outside of synapse, you can just pop it and go, right, it's got the Synaptic Imperative this turn. That's the only use I can think of.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Kind of crap.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, Irresistible Will. This is battle tactic. In your shooting phase or fight phase, so not on your opponents, fortunately. 1 CP. 1 synapse unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase, and 1 enemy unit within 24 of the visible visible. That's rubbish. It has to be visible of this to a synapse unit. What's the effect? Until the end of the phase, each time a friendly Tyranid model makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, if the attacking model's unit is within 6 of your synapse. There's so many criteria.
Yeah.
Within 6 of your synapse unit, reroll hits of 1 and reroll wounds of 1. Well, amazing.
Yeah.
How dull that is. How disappointing.
It is. But it is a battle tactic, so you could be popping that for free. Yeah,
it should be pretty easy for a unit to be 24 inches away from a synapse unit invisible.
Yeah. What I think makes that so complicated is they want that to only pop within synapse range, but they don't want it to pop if it's in sign-up range of a creature with 9-inch synapse, such as the Swarm Lord. Which makes the wording of that very...
Yeah, rubbish.
Yeah.
Right, reinforced Hive Node. Your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase. So, okay, this is not in your turn. It's a battle tactic. Just after the enemy unit has selected its target. One synapse unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more attacking units. What's the effect? Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, worsen the armor penetration by 1. Okay, so that's going to keep things alive. So, nice to have. Is it for the unit, yeah? One synapse unit, yeah. So the whole unit will get the keyword. So, again, maybe good with Tyrant Guard or Tyrant.
Yeah.
Maybe keep your Hive Tyrants alive. It's 1 CP. You can do it for free.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's okay. It's armor contempt.
Yeah, it is armor contempt. It's okay.
It's okay. Imperative dominance. 1 CP. Strategic ploy. When in your command phase, target 1 Tyranid unit from your army that is within synaptic range of your army. What's the effect? Select 1 synaptic imperative, even if you have already selected that imperative this battle. Oh, is it only once per battle?
Yeah, you can only do each one once.
Oh no! Okay.
Yeah.
That's not as good as I thought it was. Until the start of your next command. So yeah, imperative dominance. So it's in your command phase.
Yep.
It's 1 Tyranid unit from your army that is within synaptic range. Shock horror. Yep. Select 1 synaptic imperative. Oh yeah, this is the one we did talk about.
Yeah,
briefly,
we did.
didn't we? Yeah. Again, because it's only once per battle. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
End of the battle round, the synaptic imperative is active. Within synaptic range, each synaptic imperative can only be selected once per battle.
Yeah, so what you're doing here is spending a CP each turn
Yeah.
to activate on one of your units a synaptic imperative.
Yeah, I mean, it could be done in 2 ways if you've already got one active and you want to bring something else in, but okay. Yeah, okay.
You're probably from about mid-game probably using that every turn. That's your CP gone, though, is how I see it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
And then overriding instincts, 1 CP, strategic ploy, in your movement phase, 1 Tyranid unit from your army that is within synaptic range, and made a fallback move this phase, is eligible to shoot and declare a charge.
Yeah, fall back and shoot.
Fall back and shoot and charge.
Nice and simple.
And charge.
Yeah,
So, it does what it needs to do, I guess.
Yeah, so something interesting about all of those stratagems there, you don't notice there's not a 2 CP stratagem.
Yeah, I think this is a CP hungry list though.
Yeah, it is very much so. This I feel needs a Swarm Lord maybe in here just to get that extra CP a turn.
Yeah,
he is synaptic,
which helps.
Yeah. But yeah, you need that CP just to do it, and you get the ability to increase the CP of an opponent's stratagem, which is always very nice to do.
Oh yeah, so you do.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can see why he's useful.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm not as. It doesn't seem as fun to me, this one, as the other ones.
No, this is, again, I think it's quite thematic for it. It's trying to bring back a lot of that daisy chain. Well, it's not bringing back the daisy chain because you can't daisy chain synapse anymore like you used to be able to, but bringing back something about the psychic and the link between all the Tyranids and playing off that. There's some stuff there. I'm not the biggest fan of this one.
No.
This to me is probably at the lower end of what I'm going. If I'm talking about what I'm going to try and take competitively.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that wraps up all 6 of the detachments. So there's so much to take in there, but it's really good to go through it all.
Yeah.
I'd say in the next episode, I think we need to break down the individual units and their points efficiency, the damage output, and then think about how they feed into these.
Yeah.
But let's in terms of wrapping this up, coming to some kind of reasonable conclusion. What is your favourite?
There's two ways to look about my favourite when it comes to this. What am I taking competitively?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm still with the Index. I'm still taking Invasion Fleet. Right. It gives me flexibility to deal with what the opponent is bringing to the table.
Yeah.
So in the short term, that is what I will be bringing. It works well with the list I've built to go with it, which we'll get into when we get into list building. But
it's hard to say without going into the points and the damage output of the individual units.
It is.
It's an all-comers. It's an easy one to run
Yeah.
with. It does a bit of everything, like you say.
But my favourite detachment is 100% Vanguard Onslaught.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to have fun doing that, and if I can squeeze out a competitive list out of that, which I think is in there, then more the merrier. But I just can't wait to get my lictors back on the table.
I'm aligned with you. I would say it's in terms of differentiating our choices. I don't think I'd play Invasion Fleet.
No,
because it's just too familiar.
Yeah.
I do like Vanguard, but I think immediately that tells me if your whole army's hiding, there's not except where the heavy hitters go. You've only really got the flyer, which means you need to take multiple flyers.
Yeah.
Very easy to hide, but without the towering rule as much. But I just think in terms of target saturation, if everything's out of line of sight and you've only got one or two big heavy hitters out, they're getting taken out.
Yeah.
You've not got enough choice for the opponent to go for. But I think you can make it work. That is a cool one. Because it's got lots of movement, it's got a lot of manipulation and deployment. It's sneaky. It's good. I think there's a lot. It's set up for countercharging.
Yeah. Yeah.
My least favourite is probably, I hate to say it, it's between Synaptic Nexus, which was the last one we did, and Unending Swarm.
Unending Swarm for me is 100% the worst one in this book.
So disappointing.
I wanted it to be great. I wanted it to be good, but it just isn't.
The enhancements are hopeless.
Yeah. You could change a lot of this list by giving us Endless Swarm from Invasion Fleet and giving us something that can attach to guns. Yeah. Just give me a Hormagaunt Prime. I'll pay 20 quid for him. Just give me Hormagaunt Prime and I will play Unending Swarm.
I'm just surprised you can't put the Prime into the guns.
Yeah.
Or at least to have a bubble. There should be one unit that has like leadership ability bubbles.
Yeah, well, that is kind of what I was expecting with the enhancements on here. I was expecting to go back to certain rules for the Mama Bears and stuff like that. Stuff that synergizes well with the Swarm Army, which isn't there. I was kind of hoping for an enhancement which gave the Mama Bear that you can't hit this if the Termagants are in front of it. Yeah. Just going back to ninth.
Shame. But actually, the one that I'm most interested to play is actually the Assimilation Swarm.
Yeah.
I think after going through them all and thinking about all the little things I could play with, I'm not sure it would be game winning. I don't know. It's just got a bit of everything for me. But it's between that, the Vanguard one's just great, and the Crusher Stampede plays well into the monsters.
Yeah. Crushing Stampede is, I would say, mid-tier for me.
Yeah.
I want to play with it, but I'm a bit scared of a full monster list. I think it's very vulnerable with the current meta, with everyone bringing heavy weapons to deal with
tank and
the meta, which is tanks at the minute. But I think it could be fun, and I'm definitely going to get it on the table sometime soon.
Cool. Well, what I think we'll do is the next episode we'll kind of look at the units and how they synergize a bit more. But yeah, thank you. So anyway, that's us, Hot Dice. That's goodbye from me, Josh.
It's goodbye from him.
Take care.